right there.
All right, hey everybody, welcome to Tactical Tuesday here on Tactical Rifleman. We're actually on TR Live, our sister channel. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. We got Steve Holland. He's going to come visit, co-host again tonight, so he'll be here in a little bit. He will. I've got myself a fresh cup of 5 Stone coffee. Just a splash of sweet Irish cream in there. That's some good stuff right there. That's some real good stuff. We got a good sponsor tonight, JX Tactical, the little logo right here. I heard you guys already crashed their website. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but anyways, dude, they make holsters, right? So they're proudly crafted in the U.S. Lots of holster companies out there. But the reality is a lot of your smaller Kydex holster companies, they're they're just not that awesome. They're not. Here's why I like JX Tactical. They've got a little bit of everything to match your body size. So what am I talking about? A good example of that is this one's actually called the Fat Guy. Don't judge me, but basically if you've got a little extra gristle, some tactical fluffing, you call it whatever you want, right? But if you've got a little extra gristle, you guys know I'm a fag now. I'm a former action guy. So if you're packing a little extra, this is an appendix carry holster that's comfortable whether you're standing, sitting, whatever, even if you've got, that natural arch for being on a Halo team. They got the soft loops. You can get a standard the standard clip, but they also got the ulti clips. If you guys, like Emery runs these things on his knives, the scabbards for his knives. Emery really turned me on to these things, these clips. So when I saw that JX Tactical was running these on their holsters as one of the options, you pay $20, you get all 3 options, so you can try them all. Or you can pick one or the other. So anyways, good stuff. Awesome made holsters. You notice they're all cut for optics. So if you want it with a light, you just got to let them know what light you want. Let them know what Kydex pattern, all that stuff. So anyways, good stuff. Good stuff indeed. I appreciate them sponsoring us. This one right here fits my 43X, my backup, my church pistol. All right, and this one is for my Glock 19. You guys know I run a gun light on both of them. Why? Because if you're going to carry a combat gun, it needs to have a light on it, right? No, I don't want you to have to turn the light on. I don't. Use other ambient light coming in through the windows, whatever. But the reality is, you're sitting in a movie theater, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to need a light, all right? It's not just about seeing your tritium sights. It's your ability to ID, is it a threat? Is it not a threat? Is it a threat that warrants deadly force? So anyways, good stuff. I appreciate them sponsoring us tonight. So you guys have let me know that jxtactical.com, their website is down. Okay, give it a couple hours. Try them out. But I asked that you guys, you're going to buy a Kydex holster anyway, right? You're going to buy one anyways. Support Tactical Rifleman by supporting my sponsors, all right? And they're decent holsters, guys, really. I'll let you know if I break them, but so far all I'm seeing is, honestly, you know the deal. If you Loctite your screws on your holster, that's the biggest problem with EDC holsters is because it's held with retention is nothing but friction. So you've really got to tighten them down and those screws loosen up. But besides that, solid designs. I have 0 gripes about both of their holsters they sent me. That is some good coffee. I mean, that's some good coffee. Matter of fact, that coffee is so good. I'm not giving away my coffee, but Eric from 5 Stone, I don't know if he's in the chat room or not, but he sent me a box. And so I go and open up the box. And this is one of those sexy mugs, right? Coffee mug. Everybody's got coffee mugs. This one's got his 5 Stone label on it, right? Nothing fancy. So what makes this cup so special? What makes this cup so special, guys, is you go to 5stoneusa.com and you guys buy one of these cups. And what you're doing is you're helping support Eric's missionary trip. He's getting ready to go over to, I think, Nigeria. Do some basically a med cap over there, medical support and everything. And anyway, so don't forget to use code TR10. But all the proceeds from these cups, you're going to go buy coffee there. Use code TR10, saves you time. And I don't get a dime of that. He gave me that promo code to help you guys, the asylum, to help our viewers save 10% on coffee. But what I ask you to do while you're in there buying coffee, I ask that you guys grab one of these mugs because the proceeds of this go to his missionary trip he's got coming up in Africa. All right, but I didn't buy this one, so none of the proceeds from this one go to that trip. But what I'm going to do is, one, spread the word. But two, I'm going to give this puppy away. So for my moderators out there, Susan, let's do the word 5, the number 5 and stone. 5 stone. You guys know the deal. You can put it into, we do giveaways. We're going to do more than one giveaway tonight. That's why I'm starting with one right away. You're really going to love the next one. 5 stone. And you're allowed to put it up to 3 times in the chat room. If you put it more than that, your name automatically gets taken. I don't know how the algorithm does it. Do 5 stone. 5 stone, and you guys can get in on this coffee cup right here. I don't see anybody putting it in yet. 5 stone. There's my first one. Colby Dixon. Colby, we're doing your giveaway next, brother. We're doing your giveaway next. Colby's one of my patrons, and he's an awesome young gentleman. He's actually serving in the United States Air Force right now. He's sitting there with all of his fellow airmen and airwomen. You call them whatever you want. I call them all airmen. Actually, you're right. I called some of them Flightline Barbie. Don't judge me. I didn't presume her pronoun or nothing. All right. Susan, let's draw this one at 7:15. So we'll give you guys 7 minutes. All right. Hey, once you guys have entered 3 times, right? You can enter up to 3 times. The other thing I want you to do is I need you to spread the word. We are being shadow banned real bad. Our primary channel, Tactical Rifleman. Every video I put out, they used to get 100,000 views, and then I pissed off the Google moderators. Now they get 3,000 views. So, but what can change that algorithm is you guys sharing the video. So I'm going to ask you to do that. But I got one other small request. All right, so Friday, please share the video with your friends. The other request I got is if you're hanging out with us tonight and you have not already subscribed to TR Live, that's this YouTube channel right here, I politely ask you guys, subscribe to this channel because I got to break 1,000 subscribers before we're allowed to do a lot of the little stuff in the background that'll make our live streams here better. So give us a subscribe. You can like or dislike. Hopefully you like, but I really need to get the subscriptions up a little bit. We got over 700,000 subscribers at our Tactical Rifleman channel. This channel doesn't even have 1,000 yet. So I bet you guys can fix that here pretty quick indeed. All right, so I hope you guys have had a great week, a good weekend, Memorial Weekend. I know a lot of y'all took yesterday off. I didn't. I brought Randy Worst in and we ran chainsaws all day long, cutting up firewood. The big storm that came through, it caused all the flooding in eastern Kentucky. And there were a lot of deaths out there. Our prayers still go out to those people out there in eastern Kentucky. That storm just didn't miraculously just show up. It came across western Kentucky. And anyways, I lost a couple of trees, and some of them were 100-year-old oak trees, 2 of them. And so anyways, we got one completely cut up. The other one, we're about half done cutting it. Randy's going to come back next Tuesday, and we're going to run the chainsaws again. There was no more room on the flatbed trailer to put firewood. we were hurting. We were wore out. You got to remember, Randy's 69. I'm not 69. I'm 55. But most of my joints feel like they're 100. But anyways, we hang in there. We do the best we can. Randy is just awesome. The guy is a machine. I had to tell Randy to take a break. You know, yeah, the guy's a machine. So anyways, yeah, we got a bunch done. This is preparedness, National Preparedness Month. So I encourage all of you guys to, and I know I got a lot of pew guys out there. I got that. I enjoy the pew. You guys know we shoot every Sunday, 2 p.m. But I'm also very big on the concerned citizens, becoming more capable citizens. And there's so much more to it than just shooting guns. So if you're, for an example, if you're at the mall Christmas shopping, when that pressure cooker bomb in the trash can blows up, it don't matter if you have 3 guns on you. It's a bomb. More important is for you guys to have medical training, stuff like that. So look at what you need to prepare and take care of your family, because the reality is the way short-term law enforcement's not coming to help you. They'll get there eventually to take your statement after the fact so you can file for insurance. The government's not coming to help you, not right away. And the way things are looking is they may not be coming to help you at all. So I'm not condoning, I'm not saying it's time to boogaloo, not at all, guys. Trust me. This nation has always been divided. We have always been divided, always. We've come together twice. Once was World War II, and once was when the towers fell. Everybody rallied. We were patriotic Americans for a couple of months, and then they all went back to being just loyal to their party, as sad as that sounds. So anyways, not time to boogaloo yet, but it is time for you to prepare. I was on the live stream for nutrient survival last night, and reaching out to a bunch of other preparedness organizations this month. And if you need to look at the basics of survival, what you need to have to take care of your family. And it doesn't matter if it's a bad thunderstorm that rips part of your roof off, or an ice storm this winter, or tornadoes and hurricanes down near the border, down near the coasts. Doesn't matter, guys. There's just a bunch of silly shit going on. So prepare. We've got a couple classes on the calendar left this year, training-wise. The rest of it is all filming gigs, things like that. My class is in September. It's actually next week. The 12th is Combat Pistol 101, completely sold out. Combat Pistol Carbine. I mean, I think it's listed as sold out, but if there's a couple of you that want to attend, reach out to me via email and I'll squeeze you in. Carbine Zero Mastery, I think I still got 5 or 6 slots open for that. And then the Advanced Pistol Carbine class is sold out. Again, if you've attended my other classes, you want to get in on that one, shoot me an email. I'll squeeze you in. The funny part about Carbine Zero Mastery is everybody said, well, my rifle's already zeroed. I tell you what, guys, this is one of those courses, one of those sleepers. It is 1 day long, and it's not a hard course. You're shooting 5-round shot groups. You will learn more in that 1 day getting data on your carbine all the way out to 400 meters than you will 2, 3, 4 days of doing pew at 3 meters with your M4, looking sexy with all your multicam kit on and everything. So anyways, I still got a few slots left for that. You can check them out at tacticalrifleman.com. It's called Carbine Zero Mastery. It's a 1 day course. I believe it's next Thursday. And then Advanced Pistol Carbine is Friday, Saturday. Other than that, our last big class of the year that's open to the public is High Risk Travel. And the class hasn't sold out yet. And I thought about it. And so I actually went and looked. And I gave my son the new schedule for the course. and hey, take the old schedule down, put the new one up, and he took everything down. So there's no write-up, there's no class description, there's nothing except for a bare schedule. So, okay, I wouldn't sign up for that class either. But it's basically, picture you taking your family to Disney World or taking your family to Europe on vacation or business trip or whatever, or, it's how to act, how to pack, what you should do ahead of time before you go on that vacation, how you should act on the airplane, how you should act in the airport, how to act in taxis, hotel rooms, all this stuff, how to plan routes ahead of time, what apps you should have. For example, everybody knows something happens here in the States, you dial 911. All right, what do you dial on your cell phone when you're in France? Don't worry, I'll wait. What do you dial? You're freaking out. You dial 911 all you want in France. You ain't getting nothing but some porn website probably. All right. It's a different number. Some of you guys know it. Some of you guys do know it. Put it in the chat room. Educate these other guys. But there are lots of great apps. We get into surveillance, counter surveillance. We'll actually plan routes. You'll get out and one team will be hunting the other team and the instructors will be hunting you. And it's not 999, JT. Not for France. All right. So we cover all that, but we also get into escapology. So if you do get rolled up, how to get out of flex cuffs, chains, ropes, how to pick locks, how to pick handcuffs, all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah, I had some of that stuff laying over here. So yeah, can you have a handcuff key on you? You could. But we get into expedient handcuff shims, handcuff picks, lock picks, how to make lock picks. I'll tell you guys, behind my back, if the cuffs are behind my back, I'm actually faster with a bobby pin than I am with a handcuff key because it's longer. It's hard for me to reach depending on what type of handcuffs they are. Understand, you got your Smith & Wessons, your Hyatts, and there's a couple other brands, but the Hyatts have a different keyhole location than the Smith & Wessons do, and it's harder for me to reach them. So anyways, I'm actually faster with a bobby pin. Eric, that's some damn good coffee right there. By the way, I'm on my last bag of espresso roast whole bean coffee, so not saying you got to send me some, but I really wish you'd send me some. I really wish you would. All right. So that's my classes through the rest of the year. I got a few other classes. They're private courses. They're not open to the public. Here in September, I've got the classes next week. After that, I've got a couple days of prep and getting stuff together for filming. And then, it's 112, guys. It's 112. But then after that, I'm actually heading to Sig Academy. Not going to tell you the exact dates I'm going to be there. But we are the Tactical Rifleman film crew out of New York City. I'm driving up, meeting them, packing more camera equipment. We're going to Sig Academy to film their submission for the next generation squad weapon. That's the 6.8 by 51. Guys call it the 277 Sig Fury. The contract was awarded to Sig, and it's now called the XM5 rifle. It is not being fielded yet. All right. Full disclosure, they're not making their marks on a lot of the requirements of the thing. And anyways, I'm going to go up and talk to them, film them, and come back and give you guys, I'm not being paid a dime to do it. I'm not. I'm going to lose a shit ton of money on this, driving all the way up their hotel rooms, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. That's part of running a YouTube channel. It's something that I want to know more about. This possibly can be the next battle rifle to carry our military through, possibly for generations to come. We'll see. We're about 15 to 20 years away from fielding lasers, which is going to piss a lot of you guys off because you're just starting to get good with this gunpowder stuff. But we'll see. Optics have come a long ways. They will continue to evolve. But yeah, the current ammo, we need a battle rifle. People get mad when I call your AR rifle an assault rifle. You guys say that I'm helping out the libtards. All right, when I say that your AR is a assault rifle, but literally by definition, an assault rifle is a select fire carbine that fires an intermediate cartridge. In other words, not a subgun like a M3 grease gun or MP5. That is a subgun, not a M1 Garand or an M14 or a G3. All right, it is a intermediate cartridge. All right, if I push the mag release, it's actually a thumb drive. It's kind of cool. Greg, you are indeed the frickin' man. Anyways, sorry guys, I didn't mean to flag you. So anyways, I think it's time that we have a battle rifle again. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the military needs to throw away all their assault rifles. Quite on the contrary. But my A-team, for example, would always deploy with a whole ISU 90. That's basically an aluminum box that we can secure that has a skid pallet on the bottom of it that locks onto the floor of U.S. Air Force cargo planes. It's called the ISU 90. My 112-man team had an entire ISU 90 to carry our guns. Now, I had 12 guys. To give you an example, I had my Barrett 50 cal. When I was a sniper cell leader, I had a Barrett 50 cal. I had a 40 XB. I had a M24. I had my SR25. I had my M4 rifle. I had an MP5 SD suppressed. I had my 1911. I had my Beretta. I also had a second Beretta that was suppressed with a Knight's Armament suppressor. It was awesome. I had rubber washers and stuff that you had to actually shoot through. And then I had, what was my other blaster? And then we got Glocks after that. And that's not counting M203s, M79 thumpers, the crew serve weapons, the Mark 19s. Every A-team has two of them. M250 cals, you've got four of those, one for each Humvee, and then we had our two 240 machine guns, our two saws. That's one 12-man A-team. So me adding 12 more assault rifles, adding 12 more battle rifles, it's not that big a deal. It just gives me more that I can choose from. So anyways, it's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal having it in there at all. Guys, if you have questions for tonight, because that's the whole point of a live stream, is I actually just got one in. If you got a decent question, put it in the chat room. You don't have to do super chat, nothing like that. And oh shit, I'm falling behind. Sorry, Susan. She's yelling at me. All right. Okay. Let's start at the beginning. So if you have a question, put it in the chat room, and then Mama Bear will pull them out. She's one of our moderators. She'll send them to me. This one's from Kobe Dixon. Question for Carl: is your unit the one in the Viper DVD trailer and the Golden Dome Mosque raid, and are you in those videos? Yes and no. There's actually two SIF companies there. B23 was the actual SIF company assigned to the fledgling Iraqi counter-terrorist force then. You had two A-teams from the A15, the 5th Group SIF, that were working with the 36 Commando, basically the Rangers. So if you look at that video and you look through it, you'll see guys like Mike Manley in that video. You'll see a couple other A15 guys. You'll also see, if you watch the Golden Dome video, you'll see Sue LaRue with his M24 rifle. Sue had just left me in the job a couple days prior, and a couple weeks, I think. I brought my A-team. We were in a hurry to get back to Fallujah. So we were not running helmet cameras, but the assault force was. So If you're watching that video, yes, that's my unit. No, none of my guys are on that. The reality is, guys, my guys did sniper up. So if snipers are doing their job correctly, you don't get valorous awards, because there's nothing valorous about sitting in a building, shooting through a loophole, and opening up a guy's brain to bigger and better things with 7.62. There's nothing valorous about that at all. It's not, but it's fun as hell. It really is. All right. Excellent question though. But yeah, that's my unit and my sister unit B23. Excellent question. Excellent question. That's a good video. Good video. You got to get the Viper DVD trailer that's got the Team America World Police theme song playing. Yeah, that's the good one right there. That's a good one. The footage towards the end of that was actually filmed in Fallujah. The ICTF went in through the south to hit the hospital. So when you see all the MIDI guns going off and everything, my snipers are already in the city coming down from the north with the Marines. Zipper 88, what kind of chainsaws do you use? I have a Steel, and Randy runs a Husqvarna. I'm honest, I've gone through a bunch of different brands. Honestly, I think my last one was a Husqvarna. That's mostly what we ran in my old unit. Our quickie saws were Husqvarnas, but I'm currently running a Steel chainsaw. Excellent question. Flintlock. Hey, Carl, got a question. I recently bought a Primary Arms SLX Micro Prism. I have to wait for the magnifier. How much Picatinny rail does this combo take up? PA won't answer me. All right, I'll answer it for you right now. All right, got to find you a section of rail. I'm technically not allowed to touch a rail. So what we're going to do, here's what we're going to do. You can measure that right there. All right. Now measure that width right there, your base. Can you measure that? All right. So use this as your reference. All right. You can literally measure that. All right. And then your magnifier is literally, the quicker you can get it, the better. So you're looking at 1.5 times the width of this mount right here. Literally take a snapshot, pull out your phone, take a picture of that real quick. All right. This is the actual magnifier that you want to get. It lines up super, super sexy. This is actually the magnifier I use behind my EOTech also. All right. Risers don't matter because you can put different height risers. They're going to stay the same. But that is the width you want. And then I leave just enough room back here to run my flip up iron sights. All right, you good? You got it? Okay. All right. I appreciate you letting me know you got it. All right. Decent question. Guys, Steve will get here. One thing Steve pointed out to me was Steve's retired. So if I'm on the plus or minus 30 seconds or not at all, right? You ask Randy, when I say my instructors will be in the classroom plus or minus 30 seconds, they will be at a location. Plus, trust me, they're there. They will be there. Taking Steve Holland up to Vermont, God bless that man. I love Steve to death. But Steve will remind me, Carl, I'm retired. Roger that, Steve. Roger that. I stand corrected. Steve's good people. I love him to death. Honest, guys, I owe Steve so much for him taking care of our guys when we were in combat. Uncle Daddy, that's a weird name. Okay. Not sure if you're a sugar daddy or a pedophile. All right, Carl, I am a Marine and I hate your current government. Okay, that's fair. When are U.S. military vets going to wake up and stop training the police and current active military folks? They aren't friendlies. I disagree with you. And again, you're entitled to your opinion. You are. You're entitled to your opinion. But I disagree with you. I know there's a lot of bad cops out there. I know there's a few bad military people out there. I know the higher up you get in that chain of command, the more people get into politics. By definition, if you're a politic, you're a criminal. That's just the truth. So when people start getting political, command sergeant majors, colonels, stuff like that, they immediately start getting corrupt. Same thing in every branch of government. All right. When you're a colonel in the IRS, when you're a colonel equivalent in the FBI, you start getting into politics. And but for you to say that all law enforcement, we should quit training law enforcement, guys, they are the ones protecting my family while I'm deployed overseas. All right, so I disagree with you there, and I'm sorry if, honest, if that gives you poo-poo face. Please don't hold it against me, dude. I respect your opinion. I'm just asking you to respect mine. And I do these videos not just to train civilians, but I do these videos to help out our military. What do I mean by that? Since I've retired, I have trained lots of Marines, lots of MARSOC, lots of AFSOC, lots of Green Berets, lots of SEALs, Dutch Delta, German SEALs. The list just goes on and on and on. But if I'm teaching them 5 days of flat range and then a week in the shoot houses, when that group of Marines go back to Camp Lejeune and they get a bunch of new privates in, Gunny is going to look at that Lance Corporal and he's going to say, Lance Corporal, you take those new privates and you teach them how to properly load and unload their primary and secondary weapon systems. Now, that, because remember, I taught that Lance Corporal, but I probably taught him a year ago or 2 years ago. So we put these videos up on YouTube so he can go through the video archive, find, load and unload primary, secondary weapon systems. He can watch my video 2-3 times, get it down pat, and then he can go teach the privates. It's a good refresher for him. Now, if he screws it up, the gunnery sergeant can then say, Lance Corporal, take the privates, go sit in the team room, and you guys watch Carl's YouTube video 10 times, and then come back and assume the front-leaning rest. Right, so my videos are not just for civilians. Our medical videos are being used in Ukraine by U.S. medics and other countries' medics training TCCC to the Ukrainians. We have videos that are not public forum. They're not. They're not classified. Well, I'm not in the government anymore, but they are restricted access. But I allow people to use those videos overseas to train the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians have come to the States to train. A lot of them have. So anyways, dude, I'm sorry if you're mad that I'm training the military and law enforcement, but we will agree to disagree on that. All right. Wow. All right. Brandon Huth, Carl, is it possible to live out of a butt pack in the field? If so, how do you do it? Situation is going to dictate. A good example of that is the 101st would always go to the field for 18 days. That's just what we did. We did 18-day field problems. And it was actually right before I went to SF selection. I was dating my wife at the time. So it would have been January time frame. I think it was January. And 18-day field problem. And my hide sight got rolled up by the OPFOR. There was a company of infantry who were playing the part of the bad guys, and my battalion of infantry, I was one of the recon teams. So anyways, they rolled up my hide sight, and basically we lost our rucksacks, and they rolled up 2 of my guys. Me, one other guy, we escaped. And anyways, long story short, all we had was my 125 radio, PRC 125 radio, And then the food and supplies that were in my butt pack and my other guy's butt pack. Couple spare batteries, Sierra saws. We each had a poncho. We each had one change of socks. Did I mention it was January? We followed that unit, and when they stopped, it took us 2 or 3 days for them to finally get laid in and for us to link up, and we had to break contact, go get within range of where we thought our friendlies were so I could do radio comms with them. And then we led our battalion, and they did a successful raid, and it's all just blanks and miles gear and everything. But my point for saying that is all of our rucksacks with our sleeping bags and our food and our water and long antennas and extra big radios and everything else, that all got rolled up by the bad guys. We eventually got it back afterward, but we had to live out of that butt pack. And how do you do that? How do you live off of, I think I had 2 pork patties pulled out of MREs, a couple things of ramen, some peanut butter, a Sierra saw, and my poncho. Now, I have my 2 canteens with the stove under them, the canteen cups. And each thing had a bottle of iodine tablets. We had plenty of water, plenty of food. And we ended up going 5 or 6 days, 7 days, I think, before we finally linked back up. We actually stole some MREs from the bad guys. We stole radio batteries, a whole bunch of stuff. Anyways, I'm not going to get sidetracked here. How did we do that? There's nothing magical that you can buy that will allow you to survive out of a butt pack. What does it for you is not just being smart, right? IQ has nothing to do with it. College education has nothing to do with it, but experience does. And so I encourage people to go take survival classes, go take orienteering classes, go take wilderness classes, and just spend time outside. And we didn't get snow. What we got was freezing rain the whole time. I actually had trench foot on both my feet. Remember, I'm getting ready to go to SF selection, where you literally do a 12 miles of dayland nav and then 9 miles of nightland nav every day for a week straight. And that's not counting your 12-mile road marches and I think the final one's a 25-mile road march. Right before going to selection, I had trench foot. All the calluses on the bottom of my feet sloughed off. I went to SF selection with baby feet. Baby feet. I had no calluses on the bottom of my feet. I did not get a single blister in SF selection. How? Because one, I brought an extra set of boots that was 1.5 sizes too large because I knew my feet were going to swell. I brought 40 pair of socks to a 3-week selection. I want that to sink in. But I also brought a roll of moleskin. And what that is most people know in the military, use moleskin. You cut a donut to put around a blister to keep the pressure off of the blister. But in my case, I had the experience of knowing where I get those blisters on my feet, the pad right there, and the pad on my heel and the back of my heel. So I would cut moleskin the correct shape. I knew what shape to cut it. 1 piece there, 1 piece there, 1 piece for the back of my foot, for each foot, and put them on every morning. And as I let my feet breathe in the afternoon, at dinner time, I would cut new pieces, put them on. I made it all, and I'm watching guys, their feet are so tore up and swollen. They're cutting their boots open to let the swelling out. I felt bad for these guys. I didn't get a blister. I'm lying. I got 1 blister on the final 25-mile road march. 1 little itty bitty blister on the last day. All right. Experience and training. You got to get out, guys. You can't just sit there and watch it on the internet and expect to be able to perform. It just doesn't. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. I wish it did. It just doesn't. All right. Cash me outside. Have you used the primary arms ACSS HUD reticle for 308, and what is your opinion? ACSS HUD. I'm not familiar with the HUD. Understand, if you're running ACSS, like this is the ACSS MAM. It's designed for mills. It's got the Griffin reticle in it. This works great for 308. It works great for 5.56. The BDC on this thing, it stays fairly good out to 400-500 meters. But Carl, what about shooting past that? What about those 800-meter headshots? I've never taken an 800-meter headshot. Never have. Am I in the 1 Mile Club? Yep. You can go to dnlsports.com. You can pull up 1 Mile Club, and there's a picture of me next to the target that I shot and knocked down. It's a LaRue knockdown steel plate a mile away up on the side of the mountain. It does not reset. You've got to drive up there on a four-wheeler, get your picture taken. So what? I can knock down a steel plate at a mile. That doesn't mean jack shit. My furthest kill in combat is 461 meters. I know that doesn't sound very far, but it was 3 guys in the dark, and they were moving when I got the first guy. Oh, and by the way, it was a headshot. Now that sounds awesome, don't it? I leave out the part that I was aiming at the guy in front of him, and the second guy stepped in front of the bullet and caught it in the head. But it doesn't matter. My point is, me having a BDC that is good out to 400-500 meters, that's good enough for me, because past that, this is only a 1 to 8, and I need to be able to ID, is it a threat, is it not a threat, but is it a threat that actually warrants deadly force? You can't just say, well, the guy's carrying a gun. It could be a friendly out there, all right? So anyways, I'm not familiar with the HUD. I've heard of it. I don't have a lot of experience with it. All right, the winner. Okay, she's saying, I didn't announce my winner. Why? Because I'm a terrible person. All right, the winner of the coffee mug from 5 Stone. 5 Stone is Derek Dawson. Derek Dawson, congratulations. That is awesome. Derek, I hear you tell you, dude, I almost put coffee in this one day because I needed a cup. But I was like, no, I'm going to do Eric from 5 Stone USA.com. I'm going to do him good. So, guys, congratulations to Derek. Right? Who was it? Derek. What was it again, Susan? I forgot it. I got Dane Bram. Derek Dawson. All right. So, Derek Dawson, how do you get this? You take a picture of your avatar. So, I know you're not Ray Craddock posing to be Derek Dawson. And email it to tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com, tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. And yeah, you can, I will get this already in a box. My son's just got to put the label on it. Colby Dixon, brother, we're going to do your giveaway next. Here, I have an apology to do to you first, though. Got an apology. I got to put this over here so Steve don't take it. Colby Dixon won we did a giveaway for my patrons. He got a big primary arms scope. And I meant to send it out the next day, but I don't have a box to ship it in yet. So I'm waiting till I find a box to put it in because I don't want it to show up broken. So Colby, you're gonna get your scope. You are. Later this week? Probably later this week. I have not forgotten about you, not at all. Susan, I'm sorry that I skipped your stuff, your announcement there. Jerry J. Carl, a long time ago, I saw a video of Green Beret entering a mosque with Iraqi SF. On Green Beret Slip-On 4, can you explain why CQB is not like it is in movies? The video that Jerry J is talking about, I got to make fun of Jerry J. He is from the Czech Republic. He now lives in the U.S. Jerry is good people. Jerry was actually in the green zone the same time that this hit was going on. That video you're talking about, Jerry, is some of the raw footage that Dixon was just talking about. The hit on the mosque at the Golden Dome in Samara. And what Jerry's talking about, guys, is there's one part in the video where the doors open up and the guys are getting ready to go in, and you see like 4 flashbangs come over the top of the guy's head. And literally, now that guy did not stop and go, oh shit, this is going to suck. He kept going. All those flashbangs are doing is to stun the bad guys long enough so that you can get in there and get the drop on them, right? Does it suck when that happens? Yeah, I was going up behind Sularoo, up a set of stairs, and I'm thinking, man, I need to grab a flashbang. And about the time I got one up, 2 flashbangs went over the top of Sue's head right into the room. I actually did a little pause, let Sue go in, let him go off, and then I went in and dug my corner. What Jerry's getting at is CQB is not always like it is in the movies. You guys have heard me talk about my book. If I ever write my book, it will be called War Stories, a Comedy. And I'm sincere when I say that, because combat is Keystone Cops. No, don't get me wrong. War is tragic. I got that. It is. Soldiers don't pray for war. They don't. Soldiers don't start wars. It's politicians that start wars. War is tragic. I got that. But combat is freaking hilarious. Some of the shit that happens, it's hilarious. They dropped the ramp on the back of the Striker in Mosul. Running out, everybody's under nods, full multicam, cry precision, everything. And you run out, there's the one street light that's on, and there's the apartment. We're getting ready to go in and hit. The guy trips and completely face plants in the puddle that's running all the way down the road. Splash. I mean, pushes up a bow wave in front of him. You just kind of run around him and you keep going. The sewer plant had been shut off and no electricity. That was all raw human sewage and urine flowing down the side of the road. He was completely covered. It was hilarious. Nobody wanted to sit next to him on the ride home. Nobody. That shit's funny. Getting onto the Striker and the dog losing its mind and just starts biting everybody around it. It's not funny when you're the one sitting next to the dog and a dog as big as you, that's Rolex, by the way, Rolex just starts biting everybody. It's not funny when you're the one sitting there and he's latched onto your leg and your arm. But if you're the next guy over, it's hilarious. You laugh your ass off. So, yeah, funny stuff. There's a lot of, you guys can pull it up on the internet. Don't leave now, but do it later. Viper DVD trailer, Iraq. It was filmed in 2004. Watch that video and you'll see that the Green Beret advisors, they're supposed to be mentoring the Iraqis, but what ends up happening is we end up leading from the front. So the first assaulters into the building were always Americans, and then the Iraqis, you could see them yelling, using profanity, trying to motivate the Iraqis to get going. And some of the looks of their faces were they did not want to go in there because there were full auto guns going off. You laugh at the Iraqis, but I guarantee you, most of you, because you don't have the training those Green Berets did either, most of you wouldn't be in a hurry to go through that open doorway either. That's just the truth, guys. It's just the truth. Got that one. Joe S. Hi, Carl. What are your thoughts on the EOTech 512? Would you take this optic as a go-to for shit hits the fan, or do you like other options for its price point? Honestly, I love EOTechs. EOTechs are awesome. Do you need to go with the one that has this sideways battery over the 2 vertical front to back AA batteries? I've ran both in combat, and honestly, there are complaints that eventually the springs wear out. And the one with the vertical battery. So, okay, run the horizontal battery. Solved. paying the extra money to have the night vision settings on your EOTech, I've never used them. I've had them on all my EOTech. Never used them because I always ran a IR laser, IR floodlight. Never used them. Once we got inside the house, a lot of times we went white light because there were white lights already on inside the building. EOTech is an awesome optic. That would be my go-to CQB optic. That said, if I could only have one gun and I knew I had to like go all the way across Oklahoma and Utah and all these other wide open places, I would go with a low power variable optic, something that had a good mil reticle in it like this Griffin. Now, if I'm literally zombie apocalypse and I'm never going to ever be able to get batteries again, ever, you need an etched reticle, in which case, especially if you've got bad astigmatism. Currently, the optic on my TR1 rifle is this Primary Arms 1X micro prism. Why haven't I taken it off yet and put my EOTech back on? That was my intent. It was, but the reality is I'm wanting to beat on it to see how far it'll go. Every class, I throw it optic first down on the gravel. Optic first. Throw the whole rifle down. I do it on my pistol too. Why? Because I don't want you guys to do it. I don't. So, but you need to know how tough this stuff is, and to say, well, that's not real life. I beg to differ, because I have dropped my rifle before. I've seen pistols fall out of holsters. I've seen guys' rifle get slammed in the 700-pound up armored door on a vehicle. I have watched guys come in on a halo landing, flare, and hit the ground running with the wind in the dark because you couldn't judge which way the wind was going. So 15 mile an hour wind, 17 mile an hour parachute. So instead of coming into the wind, landing at 2 miles an hour, they're coming and running with the wind, hitting the ground at 32 miles an hour. He hit so hard he stuck the barrel of his saw, M249 saw, through his calf. Right, so I'm rough on guns. I need my guns to be rough. I need my guns to be able to take it. That's just the truth. So, and not all guns can do that, guys. Not all guns can take that. All right, next question back. Flintlock. Hey, Carl. Marines say oorah. Air Force says ding. Hot Pockets. Navy says licky lucky suck. What did your unit say? Honest guys, Susan, these are the kind of questions you don't have to send me. All right. I understand you guys think this shit's funny and all, and we make fun. We have there's the rivalry between SEALs and MARSOC, and there's no rivalry with the Air Force. But the Air Force gets to make fun of the Coast Guard. And then, like the band at the high school gets to make fun of the Space Force. I mean, come on, right? But no, honestly, guys, I don't. This was plenty of work to go around. Honestly, I'm here to tell you, I love the Marines. Every time my A-team got into a gunfight that we had Marines around us, we always kicked ass because Marines love to fight. All right, they just did. The Marines love to fight. The Air Force, I don't bitch about the Air Force because once the sun goes down and I've got an AC-130 Spectre gunship overhead, I'm the bravest son of a gun on the planet because that thing will bring the scunion. Once the sun comes up, woo, it gets scary after that. But so long as I got the Air Force, I'm a happy camper. So yeah, no more ding-dong, suck. No, guys, that sounds like something I would get from like Erica Hotstetter or something. All right, Steve, how you doing, brother?
Good, brother.
We are burning. Steve Holland just walked in, guys. All right, the Gustache 2531, dude, man, your mom named you weird. Sir, I'm 52 years old with astigmatism. All my guns have red dots, and I'm aware of the problem. My question is, are hologram sights and prism sights the same when it comes to astigmatism? No, they're not. A holographic weapon sight, what it does is it projects that red dot the donut of death on an EOTech, it projects it on the same focal plane as your target. That's the advantage of a holographic weapon sight over a regular red dot. That is not a prism. A prism has a etched reticle in it. So the advantage of the etched reticles, two. One, with the batteries dead, your reticle is still there. You'll see it black just like your Corsairs and a deer scope. But even with the power turned on, it is just reflecting off of what's there. And guys with astigmatism, you'll see that instead of that red dot being a comma or a star, you're going to see it clearer in a prism. This is half the price of an EOTech, by the way. Now, Parallax is a little worse on a prism because it is etched on a pane of glass than on a EOTech. But if you are, remember, your rifles, you have 4 points of contact. Support hand, fire control hand, shoulder of the stock, but then also the cheek, right? And that's the part that people miss out. That's what makes that rifle more accurate. It's not the stock. It's not two hands, because that's just helping you mitigate recoil better, all right? What's making you more accurate is that cheek weld, centering that pupil behind that eye consistently every time. You can't do that with a pistol. All right. So all my guys running your 5-inch tall risers and you're just kind of touching your chin because it's faster. It's faster. Okay. All right. That's not why they do it. But whatever the other guys tell you, that's okay. That's not why modern operators are running the tall risers. But so yeah, for you, if you've got bad astigmatism, honestly, I would recommend a 1X micro prism. I like the 1X over the 3X. If I'm going to run 3X magnification, I want to have 3 to 10. I want to have a variable power. Right? Steve, how you doing, brother?
I am doing well, Carl. How
That
you doing?
is awesome. I'm trying to get caught up on some of the...
Rifleman. Yeah, you guys doing out there? You know I love coming to see you guys.
Come snuggle,
Come to
Steve.
see you guys. All the toughies over there in Aussie. Aussie.
All right.
Gotta love
We already did a giveaway of that coffee mug over there. I got a great giveaway we're going to do here in a minute. We're coming up at, I'll tell you what, we'll do it right after this question. Phil Totten, what brand shooting glasses and lenses do you like? Looking for something I can use every day if possible. You watch almost all of my videos. I'm running, they're called Oakley half jackets. You can get them with the slightly larger lenses, and those are called flak jackets. Now, I mentioned lenses, plural. I used to, in the military, run the M frames with one lens that wrapped all the way around. We would get Oakley shooter packs. These guys would buy them. They're $250 for a shooter pack. We'd get a brand new pack for every deployment. Thank you, taxpayers, by the way. And don't think it's a waste of money, because our lenses would get beat to shit every deployment. Often. So the reason why I like the half jackets or the flak jackets is, if my M frames, if I wanted prescription lenses, right? Because I'm older, I need prescription lenses. To put prescription lenses in M frames, you had to have inserts, like little plastic lenses behind them, and the vision wasn't great. So what I found was Oakley actually will do prescription lenses I have them in clear, I have them in amber, a couple other colors. At a minimum, buy clear ones, but you can get them prescription for one eye, both eyes, whatever. I have a prescription lens for my left eye. My right eye, it dawned on me, what do you do when you don't have your prescription shooting glasses with you anymore? The moment of truth, you're in the mall, you're trying to defend your family, and you forgot your prescription glasses. What do? You just squint. So what I did was, remember, my job is protect my family. So I thought about it. Now, either I need to always have my prescription shooting glasses with me, or I need to come up with a plan, because I used to be able to focus back here, and then it was here, and then it was here, and I was like, I'm either going to need longer arms or I'm going to need prescription shooting glasses. So what I did was I went to the surgeon and I was like, hey, I need LASIX. And they said, we can do LASIX, but Carl, your astigmatism is getting bad so rapidly that in 2 years you'd have to do it again. So you can pay $3,000 now, but you're going to have to pay $3,000 again in 2 years. And I was like, that's not going to work. That's not in my budget. You understand? I'm retired. I have a YouTube channel that doesn't pay anything, and I do this as fun. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. So what I ended up doing was taking the money from both eyes, and I had the lens replaced in my right eye. That's my M4 eye. And I had the lens replaced in it. It's the same thing they do for cataract surgery now. So the VA, if, for example, Steve's a little older than me, not much, but if Steve had cataracts, the VA would pay for all of it. Replace his lenses, not going to cost Steve a dime, not a dime. I didn't have cataracts. I just had astigmatism. So, that was inexpensive. But I had my envelope of tip money. And I teach classes. If somebody gives me a tip, I put it in the Jeep envelope or the eye surgery envelope. And I had enough to do one eye. I got my right eye done. So that's a big chunk of money. So before you do that, I like Oakley lenses. You'll see me running Smiths. There's a couple other great sunglasses that also make good shooting glasses. When it comes to shooting glasses, though, guys, before, and this is going to sound weird to all of them, because everybody, if you pull out your shooting glasses right now, I guarantee you they're all that dark. Most of them are. You need to own clear shooting glasses. Now, if you look at a lot of my videos, you'll see me with my purple ones. They look purple. Those are not shooting lenses. They're actually golf lenses. And they are made for getting rid of the white glare on the ball. We shoot a lot of white steel, don't we? But if you were to actually look through my shooting glasses, they are not tinted very much at all. And I can run them in the shoot houses. But when we were in the Humvees or whatever going through Baghdad, understand, even if the sun was up and you had those tinted glasses on, as soon as you hit that building, the power's been off in Sadr City for 45 days. They've got blankets up over the windows so you can't see their candles and shit. Now, those dark M frames, they stayed in the Humvee, and I put broad daylight, 12 in the afternoon, I put my clear glasses on, and we'd go hit the building. So, yeah, go ahead, Steve. Add to that.
What Carl is describing is what we call, in my career field, when I was running force modernization, combat development, was a end user tactical shortfall. So I wrote a requirement that went into TISWIG. You can look it up, CTTSO, TISWIG, TOS, and the requirement basically stated that we were providing all the warfighters clear glasses and dark glasses. The problem was, you're rolling, you're in shades. You get out, you go into a building, you got to go down a tunnel, you got to go in a crawl space, the building's blacked out, all of a sudden you're going to drop the dark ones, you're going to go to clear. Well, guess what? Guys are losing glasses left and right. Mm-hmm. So we wanted TISWIG to go to the glass manufacturing industry, because civilians, the rest of the world already had the technology of transition lenses.
Yeah.
So I believe our requirement was for the glasses to meet the ballistic standard of whatever standard was at the time, but also transition to clear within 3 seconds. That was probably in 2007. I forget who was awarded a contract for that. Again, our office, we have, 7 guys, and they all have their own areas of expertise. I got a mobility guy, I got a soldier systems guy, I got a combat strike engagement guy. So I believe the soldier systems guy was the one in charge of working with the strike engagement guy on that program, because we do requirements, we hand it off. I know we did have someone win the contract. I would have to go back and look at. I mean, this week is available online. None of that is classified, but that was one of the problems that we found, that through technology we wanted a technical fix, because there's technological fixes to combat shortfalls, and there's training fixes to combat shortfalls. Couldn't fix it with training, so we went to technology. So Big Tuna, shout out to you. Flintlock, yeah. I wear my sunglasses at night.
Steve won't take those things off,
so
man.
I can.
He's a big Stevie Wonder fan. All right, Michael Johnson. Mr. Carl, may I ask what kind of training do you recommend for using the AR-10 platform effectively? All right, it depends what you're going to use it for. All right, the AR-10, you can have a 12.5-inch AR-10, like my Adam's Arms over here. I love running it suppressed. I usually about 1 or 2 classes a year, or pistol carbine class, I will actually do the whole class with 308, just to show people that if I can do the drills with a low power variable optic and a 20 round 308 mag and make all the times on the critical task evaluations, there's no reason why you shouldn't be making the times with your little sissy 5.56 gun. Now, if you want to stretch that gun out, for example, next week we're doing Carbine Zero Mastery. And again, it's designed for guys' work guns, your everyday carbine. But we start with point blank zero, basically 200 meters, but we're going to stretch those guns all the way out to 400 meters. Now, a lot of people say, well, my AR-10, that's for shooting past that. Okay, maybe it is. If that's the case, then come take our tactical precision rifle class. We ran the last one in May at Tiger Valley in Texas. I'm trying to find a closer range. I think I have a range. It's about a half hour south of Nashville. We'll be adding it for 2023's training calendar, probably late September, early October. So keep a lookout for that. But honestly, if you're planning on shooting, moving, and communicating with that AR-10, then you should come take our pistol carbine class with it. Ask Byron Russell and a lot of the other assaulters in my old unit. They hated it when I would come into the shoot house right next to them, because I was running my SR-25, full-size SR-25 Mark 11 in the shoot house. Why would I do it? Because that's what I was carrying real world. When we hit a building, we had sector secure in 90 seconds. Okay, we've completely secured the building, but we might be there an hour exploiting it, pulling hard drives, tactical questioning, because you don't torture people.
No, we don't torture.
Right? So what are we doing then? Well, all the bad guys are now outside. So the snipers would go high up on the roof, and with our PVS 22s, because the guys with the AKs, they would hide at the 300 meter mark because they knew you couldn't hit them there. I want you at 300 meters in the dark. I'll eat that ass alive.
Chip shot on the putting green. Chip shot.
Yeah.
Also on ballistic glasses, and again, I don't get into specific manufacturers, but look for glasses that give you as much wraparound protection as you can get, especially with your peripheral vision, and something that covers the top edge. Back in the old days, we used to have glasses, they had a lot of space up top. One of the worst things in the world is to be running, especially a pistol, and a piece of hot brass lands in your lens on the top of your eyelid. On that,
so you want it to go high.
Yeah.
You want it to go high, but you don't want it touching your eyebrows because your glasses will fog up. All right, you've still got to have this space, just not a lot of space. So his melon is shaped different than my melon, is shaped different than Sularu's melon. So that's why we're not big on giving you brands. You asked what I'm running, but you've got to try them on and understand. I mentioned the flak jackets and the half jackets. One size may wrap better on your face than the other. All right. Please don't think you have to just run exactly what I'm running, because your melon does not look like my melon. You're a good looking gentleman and I'm not. All right. Next one. This one's from Kraken over in Australia.
Kraken. Oh, that's the
Knife maker.
the knife
EDC,
maker
yeah.
guy. Oh.
Kraken Tactical
I
EDC.
hear about you guys a lot. I didn't know you guys existed till I started hanging around Carl and Randy. From what I've seen.
His question?
Okay, go ahead.
Carl, I see people wearing their magazines on their plate carrier across their front. If they ended up taking a round and they have loaded mags on their front, isn't that more dangerous? All right. First off, here's why I don't like running anything on the front, because the bullets start flying if you're not doing CQB or urban combat. If you're out in the middle of the desert and everything, unless you got vehicles to hide behind, your ass wants to get low. You want to be able to lay flat. You'll try to hide behind the curb of a sidewalk, right? So you need to be slick so you're comfortable shooting prone. So we ran a lot of stuff on the sides, no more than one mag thick on the front. The problem with that was then we got to Afghanistan and you start going through these narrow doorways. Kink, kink. We couldn't fit. Then we had to take everything off the sides, put it on the front and on our backs. And okay, so I'm saying our kit is always evolving. And then it was, well, okay, I need to carry 10 magazines, but I also need to carry flashbangs. I also need to carry firing systems. I need to have tourniquets. I need to have a push-to-talk from my radio. And so it's limited real estate. So now back to your question about a magazine being on your front. A magazine on your front, the bullet hits that, and it happens a lot. We actually, the day that Travis Hall, the vehicle that Travis Hall was driving that got IED'd. Later on, he was trying to fix the armor on the side of the vehicle. A piece of armor fell on his arm and got compartments, and that's why he's got those sexy scars. Travis Hall was driving that Striker, but we had two guys up on air guard, and basically watching for like suicide vehicles coming up. When that IED blew up on the side of the road, it had big ass ball bearings, and those ball bearings hit the magazines on the front of that guy. They hit him in other places also. Guy's fine, but rung his bell. You can shoot magazines. Now, understand, if you hit a primer, right, that primer's going to go off. But this bullet is not encased in a chamber. It's not going to build up a lot of pressure. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, don't do it with a bunch of people around, but you can throw a bullet into a burn barrel and hide behind your buddy's car. But that bullet will cook off. Now, you're going to you might hear a zip depending on which way the bullet's going, but it is not moving at 3,000 feet per second. It is a low velocity fragment because it couldn't build up enough chamber pressure. Right? Now, that's only if he nicks that primer. You shoot the bullet, you shoot the brass casing where the gunpowder is, it's not going to set it off. It's just not. So, yeah, those magazines are out of the fight. That's why you don't put all your mags in one spot. I always kept two on my back that I could grab, Lara Crawford Tomb Raider style. I carried mags on my support side. So if let's say my support side became incapacitated, this arm got shot, I could still shoot my rifle. It's an M4, it weighs nothing. Could shoot my rifle one-handed, dump that mag, drop my gun to my front behind cover. I had mags I could reach, put it in the gun, release the bolt carrier group, and I'm back up again holding my rifle, even with this arm incapacitated. So the guys that only put their mags on their support side, you can't reach them with that hand. So anyways, there's a method to the madness. Nobody is correct on running kit. One deployment, you're going to do it this way, and then something changes the next time. And that is the coolest part about Molly. As the mission changes, you can change your gear setup. That's why I really, really love... All right, Susan just reminded me we're going to do a giveaway.
Okay. What are we giving away?
I got this box in. Came in from one of my patrons. Awesome dude, by the way.
And in the box is a
Primary Arms 1X Micro Prism. Serious as a heart attack. Not used. It is just like the one that I'm running on my work gun right now. You guys will see it in class next week. He won the gun case at the Barrett, signed by Ronnie Barrett. And then when we did my Patreon live stream, he also won a big scope giveaway there. He felt guilty. He bought a optic, had it delivered here. It comes with a Primary Arms baseball cap. Guys, this is the same box that it got delivered in. The box got bent up a little bit. That's not my dogs. That's just a terrible mailman. I am going to close this box up, and I don't want to throw his name out there and belittle him. So how about the word patron? That's it. You can put it in there. You want in on this?
Super
patron.
Super patron.
Patron. Steve's gonna grab his phone and put it in there. If you want to win this,
Super patron.
not. I'm trying to see if it has his name on it. No,
Nope.
It came straight from Primary Arms. Straight from Primary Arms. 1X Micro Prism, guys. It's got the Cyclops reticle in it. It's badass, dude. It really is badass. You're going to want this one. So, why are you guys putting the word patron in there? Well, because, Carl, that's what you said we got to do so we can get some free shit. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, you know why you're putting that word in there? Because he's good people. He really is good people. You know who reminded me to do this giveaway? Susan Britcher, who's another patron on Patreon. She's good people. Remember we talked about Jerry J? He's like one of the only guys who I put the extra accent on. Why? Because Jerry J is good people. Kraken Tactical is good people. There's a lot of my patrons are in the chat room right now. They are. You're hanging out with a bunch of great Americans and just great people in general. Susan's actually from Australia. Kraken's from Australia also. If you guys win, I will pay the international postage. That's going to suck, but I will pay it. I don't care. All right? I will label it as a fishbowl or something, but I will ship it over to you. I'm so hoping it's somebody local because the postage has been killing me on some of this stuff. That big box with the gun case in it cost a bunch to ship that. Yeah, guys, here's the deal. I don't do self-serving pitches very often, but most of our videos here get demonetized on YouTube. So how did I put my daughter through nursing school? Basically, because God knows my military retirement does not pay the bills. How did I do it? I did it with the support of my patrons. So for all my patrons, I love y'all out there sincerely. You guys keep me afloat, and brother, thank you. You did not need to do this. I'm sorry you felt guilty about winning 2 giveaways. That's just luck of the draw, because Susan don't cheat. She don't cheat at all. We're gonna draw this at. I'll tell you what. Let's draw it at 8:30. 8:30. Susan will still be here. Hopefully, my other moderators will still be here. We're gonna draw this at 8:30. You guys can enter up to 3 times, and then whatever the program is, it knocks you out. So don't do it more than 3 times yet. Please don't do it more than 3, because I want to see you guys win. If you want to get your hands on one of these, guys, if you need to have a gun with one of these on it, I got 4 guns with these on. One of them's a 9mm. That one's got the different reticle in it. That's got the 9mm reticle, but I've got it on 3 5.56 guns. Yeah, I got them on 3 5.56 guns. I've got Emery running one, Sularu's running one, Randy, I think's got it on 2 guns. Why? Because we're older. We're older guys, and everybody's got a stigma. Emery's not that old yet, but Emery thinks it's bad. Emery grew up on the ACOG, which is a prism. So he liked the ACOG 1.5X. We did a video on it a couple years ago. Emery loved that thing. He loved it. And when he saw this one that's got the even better reticle in it, he's like, Carl, I need one. Anyways, pretty badass, guys. So anyways, you can check it out. You can get this up. You can get it Primary Arms. One thing I will say, if you guys are going to go order things from Primary Arms or Brownells or even Amazon, because I buy everything off of Amazon, before I go to Amazon, I go to tacticalrifleman.com, and there's something there that says store. Click on store, and it says companies we love. And it's Amazon. If you go to my Amazon store, it lists a bunch of the stuff that I like, but you can buy a flat screen TV there. You can buy hand warmers for the kids ice skating this winter. It helps me out. I get pennies on the dollar, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, that's I do all my Amazon shopping through tacticalrifleman.com. How about you, Steve?
I agree. Tactical Rifleman, Amazon.com. Guys, I apologize. You see me get up sometimes I have to move. My call keeps it like half Africa hot in here, white man cold outside, and it's like really screws.
No, it is hot in here, guys. We got two big bright bright lights beating down on us.
See the reflection.
I've got the server tower right here, right above, literally right above his head, and they're putting out some heat. You can probably hear the fan running in the background, and it's a little warm in here. That and Steve just makes me hot, dude. Yeah. That's just what it is. Steve just makes me hot.
No, I just wanted to apologize to him because they see me back and forth, and sometimes they say, "Hey, well, Steve's too close to the mic; he's breathing." I don't have which side? Where am I? Over here? This side? Yeah.
What's that?
I don't have a orbital bone in my left eye. One of those injuries,
injuries. That would suck.
When Carl was talking about, getting his eyes done and cataracts and then the VA doing stuff, and when they said, you fractured your orbital bone. And I was like, okay, am I going to be all right? They said, well, yeah. So come back in 2 weeks. So I came back in 2 weeks. I said, so what are we going to do? You're going to fix the fracture? And the guy said, what are you talking about fracture? He didn't say fractured. He said fragmented. It's gone. So your eye is like sitting on eye muscle like a trampoline. He said, but if you come back and we'll schedule you a month from now and we'll put this mesh thing underneath your eyeball, underneath your muscles. And I'm looking at this young captain and I'm saying, well, Doc, how many of these have you done? And he just kept talking about what he's going to do. We're going to take this thing, we're going to pop your eyeball out of your head and all this other stuff. And I'm looking at him. I said, man, you're pretty excited about doing this. And I said, well, how many have you done?
Yeah, my first one.
No. He said, counting you, it'll be 5. I said, counting me, call me back when you get to 55. So I still have, oh my gosh, I can't point backwards. This eye is still sitting on muscle, no orbital bone, and it causes a calcium buildup. So I'm like, I breathe out of one nostril, and that's it. So
don't take a swing at
white man
Steve
cold,
because
Africa hot. White man cold, Africa hot.
You start to swing a right hook at Steve, he's gonna just shoot your ass because he ain't getting hit in the face. All right,
that has happened. Training with Donnie.
I don't doubt it. Harley Softail just asked, "Hey Carl or Steve, did you laugh to when Chris Kyle was portrayed as landing a 1 mile headshot against an Iraqi sniper in prone position on his first try in that movie?" Honest guys, I was told Chris Kyle was one of the SEALs at my safe house in Fallujah for the Second Battle of Fallujah because they brought all the snipers into my safe house there. All you SEALs look alike to me. I'm not going to bash Chris Kyle.
God bless him and his family.
I understand any movie. Hollywood will take a good story and ruin it because they think it's not good enough to tell the story, to tell the truth. So anybody that was shot at 100 meters is now getting shot at 500 meters. Anybody that was shot, you understand, a headshot at an enemy sniper at 400 meters is an awesome shot. And if they made it a mile, so what? The movie 12 Strong, there was nobody riding horses attacking tanks. No, that's not real life, guys. That's not real life.
It's supposed to be 13 strong,
Yeah.
but Randy Rawhide Worst got kicked in the jaw the night before the attack by one of the ponies, and Randy was our trainer. So Randy had to get medevac to Germany,
Poor Randy.
and so it became 12 instead of 13.
Guys, and my wife did have me watch 12 Strong. My wife did have me watch American Sniper. I have watched certain war movies. Honest, a lot of movies are great for entertainment, but there are very few historical movies that I really like. One of them is Saving Private Ryan. And same thing, Saving Private Ryan. They exaggerate a lot of the stuff in Saving Private Ryan. They do. But that's Hollywood. They do it in every movie.
Saving Private Ryan, MG34.
Yeah,
My God.
the
My
zipper.
God. Whew.
What a beautiful gun, huh? All right.
Oh,
I got Joe the Knife Guy asking me here, are you giving out the tool? This is a guy who's interrupting me in the middle of a live stream, asking if I'm going to give away his tool.
Oh, our buddy Joe.
Joe, I had him right here. I was going to give one of them away tonight as a third giveaway. We'll see if we get to it or not.
Joe T? Is that
Yeah,
Joe T?
Joe T. That's Joe T. All right. You guys understand it should be Susan texting me and not any of you other monkeys. All right. Next question right here. I actually have one from talk about that's
Thank you.
one right here. Uncle Daddy, Carl, can you talk about the training schedule
Mitchell,
for
Hoy.
next year yet? My goal is to take 2 of your classes as a first timer. All the classes that you saw on the calendar for this year, if you go to tacticalrifleman.com, you can pull up all of our classes with descriptions. I understand high risk travel. My son accidentally took down the description. I will have that fixed. All the classes from this year are going to be repeated next year. We're going to be adding new classes also. For example, our CQB class is going to come back. All right. I've got to finalize terms with a new shootout. We're going to bring back, we're going to add again some EDC ones. In other words, conceal carry, civilian clothes, inside the waistband, holster stuff, because those tactics and draws and everything are different than our duty gun stuff. We're going to do one night vision class where the whole thing will be done. It'll be a 9 to 5 class. It'll actually be 8 o'clock to 5 p.m., but we're going to do it at an indoor range. So instead of you having to wait till 8, 9 p.m. for it to get dark, we're actually, when everybody's ready, we kill the lights in the shoot house, and you'll be doing it there. So we're going to start the basics of shooting with night vision. Cool part about that class is I will put it out ahead of time. So if you guys have nods, cool. But let's say you want to buy nods. I will work it out. We'll get a discount from AGM Global Vision or Night Vision guys. I'm waiting to see who will give us a better deal. And you will be able to pick up your brand new night vision goggles or monoculars, whatever you want to buy, depending on your budget. Brand new in the box will be waiting for you at class. I will also bring other nods for those of you that can't afford them. I will have nods there for you to borrow. And I'll also have some that you can buy on site. So you're kind of on the fence. You don't know if you want to buy a PVS 14 or a set of binos. I'll have them both there. Brand new, for you guys to test. The last time I did that at a night class, it was AGM Global Vision sponsored the class. We had 4 sets of binos, 4 sets of PVS 14s, and I think I sold 4 sets of binos and 7 PVS 14s. So a couple guys had to wait to get them to come in. But yeah, once you realize how much of an advantage it gives you. So anyways, we're going to do that. Another class we're going to do is I got to work out the details with mirror safety, and we are going to do a gas mask class. All right, so those of you guys that everybody thinks, well, I get my gas mask and me just having it up in the attic is good enough. Nada, you need to train with this thing. You need to train with your gas masks. And the first time you have to shoot with them, you're going to be like, this sucks. Why did I sign up for this? Okay, but the reality is, if you're serious about training, guys, you're serious about training, in that class, we're going to go over the advantages and disadvantages of the different kinds of gas masks. And we'll do the same thing. We'll put it out ahead of time. Basically, we'll work out a discount code so you guys can get from Mirror Safety the different kinds of gas masks. Some people like the full clear. That's better for situational awareness. But for actually bringing that optic up, that one that you just saw that has the 2 round, they are actually sat back in. So it allows you to get that optic, that low power variable optic right up to your eye at proper eye relief. You can't do that with the clear ones. The fans, we have the 2 filters on the fan. It's positive pressure. So even if you move your head, you bump your head, the air, and break the seal on the mask, the air is always being pushed out. So no contaminants can come in. We're going to deal with stuff like that. And yeah, we're going to have, you're basically going to get CS'd. We're going to start with smoke grenades. And as we work through the course, we're going to wrap it up with, you think pepper spray is bad? Yeah, welcome to that class. So anyways, we're going to have new classes added to the calendar. Travis Hall wants to add more medical classes, basically our TCCC level 1, but also a level 2 course. Chad Mormon is wanting to add high-risk travel, but also a high-risk travel 2 course, where you get into more dismounted stuff, things like that. All right, we got a winner of our 1X micro prism from Primary Arms. Guys, this is, I was surprised by how much I like this optic. All right, the winner is Sean McGee. Sean McGee, you are the winner. You know the deal. Take a picture of your avatar. Congratulations, Sean McGee. Take a picture of your avatar, send it in an email to tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. Tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. Donut's going to put it in the window down below. You get the Primary Arms hat, the 1X micro prism with Cyclops reticle. This is the box. I'm going to just tape it shut. It's the one it came in. I'm going to get that out to you also. All right. Yeah, and for the rest of you guys, seriously, if you want to get in on this stuff, yeah, you want to get in on this stuff, go to tacticalrifleman.com. There's a tab there that says companies we love. Primary Arms is there. Brownells is there. Sportsman's Guides there. MGM Targets is there. Lots of great companies there. And for example, if you use our code at Primary Arms to get this optic, by using our code, you get a scope mount. That's not a bad deal. That's not a bad deal at all. I think that's a decent deal. So, good stuff indeed. Running low on coffee, guys. Gonna refill my cup. Patron XO Cafe. It's coffee liqueur with tequila. That stuff's strong right there. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, Carl. Woo. Good stuff right there. I heard a vicious rumor that they're not making that anymore. That would suck. I'm still good for a couple of years. You got to have your stores. You got to stay prepared. Whoa, Carl, that was a little too much. Okay, good stuff indeed. All right, I'm going to rewind. I'm still missing a few of these. Guys, if I miss your question, you're going to have to bear with me here, all right? I'm doing the best I can. No, don't it. I'm not asking him that one. All right, Rob asks, Susan, Cole, can you ask when is that book coming out, and is it going to be a coloring book, one for my brother, he's a Marine? Honest, guys, one of the things I do on for Patreon for my patrons is once a month I do story time with Carl, where I share one of my war stories. Me shooting those guys in the Imam Ali Mosque Cemetery in the Jaf. That's one of the story times with Carl. Combat ops in Fallujah, up on the mountain in Afghanistan. I've got once a month I do a different war story. Well, my son took a list of 31 of my favorite war stories, and he took those videos and typed them all out. And me and my son, so they're all done. They're done. I just have to sit down with my son, like he spelled Fallujah wrong. He spelled and the Jaf wrong. He got the date wrong on this. He does, the acronym this he got wrong. So the date's off a little bit. I need to sit down with him. We need to do the initial edit. And my son's got a degree in journalism, right? So
he's a very smart young man.
Very smart young man. So will I ever do this book? My wife keeps bugging me. I was supposed to put 5 days aside in August to do just that, but I am so far behind on videos. Honest, when's it going to happen? Probably never. Definitely not 2022. Maybe 2023, but more than likely, honest, nobody wants to read a book by some schmuck in Cadiz, Kentucky. So
I would read it.
And Steve would be like, he didn't mention me at all in that chapter.
No.
He didn't mention me at all.
Carl.
And Steve will laugh his ass off because he'll be like, I heard about Sularoo doing that. Carl actually did use Sularoo for bait doing counter sniper. When the enemy sniper started shooting at Sue, running across the soccer field with no body armor on, Carl's sniper shot him up. That's a true story.
Well,
true story.
I think what a lot of people that aren't in the community don't quite understand is in an SF group, there's so much compartmentalization of the units. I believe you guys, or whoever was watching that night, recall I had heard about the guy in Afghanistan that used a Mark 12 SPR and took out like 55 guys in one night, won the Silver Star. I'm in the same unit. I am developer of the Mark 12, and I wanted to meet. I said, man, I'd like to meet this guy.
It was a couple years later, wasn't it?
No, it was just the next year that I happened to be running a range, introducing the Mark 12
more,
and the 6.8, and the XM109 Barrett with the 25 millimeter, and we had an SF medic assigned to the range, and we talked, we interacted.
Moorhead, right?
Yeah. And after the range, when all the government, civilian, political people were leaving, he asked me, hey, is it okay? Everything's good? I said, yeah, doc, you can go. And he said, I want to shake your hand. I go, okay. He said, you saved my life. I was like, okay. He said, when I was in Afghanistan, he started telling me the story, and I was like, oh my God, you were the one. So when Carl says that these different segments and these different stories that even people in the unit, they hear about it, but you don't necessarily know the whole story or the exact person. So with that compartmentalization, especially since the SF group went from 3 battalions to 4 battalions, you added an additional 18 teams. There's 12 guys per team, and each team could be in a different country. You don't know. And when you come back, you don't just walk across the concern and say, hey, guy from 3rd Battalion, how was Africa? Or hey, guy from 2nd Battalion, how was things down in, Abu Dhabi, because nobody's talking to each other because everybody had different missions. So Carl would say, I wouldn't want to read his book. I would love to read his book because there's probably things he's done that I would say, oh man, wow, I didn't know that.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens all the
time. This picture right here was taken in the Joff, and that was my A-team there. And I wasn't joking when I said I used Sularu for bait, but there was part of that that whole battle there in 2004 that I didn't know until last year's Patreon course at the General Butler State Park. I had Sularu there. Sue started telling his side of it, and it was like, holy shit. Because I had heard all these end results. President Bush approving dropping 8 JDAMs on a single parking garage. But I didn't know all the story of how involved Sularu was on that. So anyways, I'm going to try to fast forward again here. I'm not reading that one. Shit, I missed another one. Vincent Barcardo. Hey, Carl, U.S. Marine here. Recently bought a
Simplify.
Kratos Tactical Warfighter 13.9 barreled AR-15. I was in between at 14.5 and 13.9. Any experience with Kratos or the 13.9 in general? Honest, never ran Kratos, so I'm not going to talk good or bad about them. As far as 13.9, so long as you're not going shorter than 10.5 inch, you're good. You start getting shorter than 10.5 inches and you're losing that secondary cavitation effect, the terminal performance of the bullet inside the human body, because it's just not, it hasn't had enough time for 5.56 to speed up. 13.9 is, it has sped up enough, so you're good. Now, the problem people have is that if you go shorter than 16, you've got to get a short barrel rifle tax stamp, or you've got to put a brace on it. For my personal TR1 rifle, I went with a 13.7 barrel, just 0.2 of an inch shorter than yours. But then I had them permanently attach the Surefire SOCOM muzzle brake. And what that does is that muzzle brake is so long, it puts my gun exactly at 16 inches legal. Because, and everybody said, well, Carl, you could just run a 10.5 inch and run a pistol brace on it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And I'm like, it's not, guys. All you guys, and everybody's mad at the ATF now because they're going to make all of your pistol braces illegal. Be honest, not one of you has ever, not one time ever, put that brace onto your forearm. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the technicality that you guys had, that they agreed that so long as the manufacturers weren't marketing it to be put against your shoulder, if you, the end buyer, because you're only supposed to put it on your arm, if you accidentally put it up against your shoulder, ATF didn't care. I have guns right here on the rack that have pistol braces on them. I do. But my gun, I didn't put a pistol brace on. I made it the exact perfect length. Now, your 13.9, you can basically run any brake you want, any flash hider. Just make sure it's 16 inches, but it has to be pinned and welded. If it's not, then you're going to have to register it as a short barrel rifle. Before you freak out, everybody's like, no, I'm not registering nothing. I have got 2 5.56 cans, a 22 long rifle can, a 45 caliber can, a 308 can, and 2 338 Lapua cans. Every one of them are registered ATF, and I have the tax stamps on them. So what's the difference if I register that 12.5 inch 308? If I take that pistol brace off, I put a regular stock on it, now that they're going to say that they're illegal, and me paying the $200 to register it. Because, and don't get me wrong, I agree with you guys that the National Firearms Act should be abolished. You should not have to pay $200 to own a suppressor. You should not have to pay $200 and register your short-barreled carbine with the ATF. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. And all it takes is your politicians to abolish the NFA. That's all they have to do. But until they do, you got to play by the rules. So here's your choice. Because I know everybody's losing their shit over it. You're going to do what most people are going to do, and you're going to tell them to suck a fat baby's dick. You're not going to register. That's the actual medical term, by the way. All right? You're not going to register your pistol braces. You're going to just tell them, well, I'm going to just hide them. I'm not going to tell them I have them. All right, so now you're going to waterproof them and make a cache out in your backyard or up in the woods somewhere. Are you getting to use those guns? Oh, yeah, you really showed the ATF. You really showed them. The flip side, I've heard some of them actually say, well, there's going to be a lot of dead ATF agents. Here's the deal, guys. There'll be one ATF agent and all your local cops that you sit next to in church. And they're going to come up, they're going to be like, dude, he's got the paperwork. It's stupid. We know. I already gave him my pistol brace. Dude, honest, it sucks. It sucks. Abolish the National Firearm Act. But until they do that, guys, I don't break the law. I have been known to speed on occasion. I've pitted a couple cars on the highway, but they deserved it, right? But other than that, guys, I don't jaywalk. I don't keep stuff in my house I'm not allowed to have. I have a YouTube channel. You don't think the ATF has got 3 people watching this right now? Please come. They can walk all through my man room. Everything in there has been demailed and I'm legal to have. Guys, I'm too old. I'm too old to break the law. I don't have to. The reality is I don't have to. I'll pay the $200 tax stamp. My gun is legal. My Barrett is legal. Now, if they make Barrett 50 cals illegal, I might go for a canoe ride and have a few guns fall overboard. But we haven't reached that point yet, guys. We really haven't. We have not.
That'd be some serious reimbursement.
Man. Yeah. Question. I got the one about the crayons. No, don't it? Mr. Erickson, is the 9mm staccato XC worth $4,300 in your opinion? Would you issue it to your men in combat over SIGs and Glock's best? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Here's the deal, guys. It is a beautiful, completely tricked out 1911. That is 1910 technology. Don't get me wrong. There are some great race guns out there. All your STIs are all 1911 guns. They are. Nobody's using them anymore. They're running CZs. They're running Glocks. Why? Especially, now you mentioned for my guys. For my guys, I need a gun that will go bang every time. No matter how much mud, how much water, how much snow, how much frost. The staccato is a very, very high-end pistol. It is a completely trucked out, beautiful 1911. But it's also, and there's a lot of them out there, Wilson Combat, STIs. There's a bunch of companies that make great guns. Why is staccato all the craze right now? Why does he have a Yeti cooler cup in his hand? Marketing. There are rednecks that drive around with their pickup trucks that say Yeti across the back window. You understand, they make coolers. So why does this redneck have Yeti across the back window of his pickup truck?
Coolers that cost more than your gun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeti took all their money from development. They put money into development. Yeti makes great coolers, by the way. But they also poured an insane amount of money into marketing, just like Vortex did, right? Everybody loves Vortex. Vortex is, they're good. Okay, they've got okay stuff. Vortex stuff is okay. But Staccato did the same thing. They're like, we're going to do what Yeti coolers did. and we are going to just completely market the snot out of it. They'll pay to have it put in this magazine, pay to put it here, pay to put it there. Don't get me wrong, guys. If you have deep pockets and you want the best, from what I've heard, they are the best 1911s out there right now. They are the best. These things are awesome. Awesome. The staccatos are awesome. But it is not a combat gun. It is not a combat gun. It's not. Guys, the 1911 is dated. The whole concept of an exposed hammer. Do you think about how much just belly button lint doing EDC? Because the hammer has to stay cocked. Unsafe. No, dude, no. Nada. We ran Kimber slides on our 1911s in Iraq. And when they were first new, dude, you couldn't get a magazine. Coming back off the helicopter, you couldn't get one magazine through them without them. And that was just the dust blowing around inside the helicopter. Guys would, and you won't see this in a movie, before they got on a helicopter, they'd take their pistol out, they'd put it in the plastic bag that goes in the trash can next to your desk, the clear plastic bag. They'd put it in their holster. They'd go on the mission. When the helicopter flew away, they would take their pistol out, take the plastic bag out, put the pistol back in the holster, stick the plastic bag behind their body armor, and then they do the mission. That's wrong. Eventually, after I think it took about 1,000 rounds, the guns got worn in enough and the dust didn't bother them as much. But it's exposed, single action, nada. Nope, zip, zero. If you want a beautiful gun to put up behind glass in your man room, if you just want to show off that, you can afford a staccato, they're awesome, guys. They are awesome guns, but they are not a combat gun. They're not a combat gun. You understand what I'm saying, right? Because he specifically mentioned, would I take M18s and Glocks out of the hands of the guys on my old unit and give them staccatos? You know what? I'd give them the staccatos to bring home, right? Put that shit in the mail and you mail that shit home. But you keep that Glock and you keep that Sig M18, M17. No, the staccato's got no business overseas, guys. No business overseas. Oh, good googly moogly, no. Heaven forbid. Wow. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Guys, I fell way behind again. Sorry. Coloring book. That one. No donut. Staccato. What a joke. Richard Ball. Carl, hi. I have a Romeo Zero red dot on my AR-15 with an A-style front sight post. Can get consistently 50-yard groups with iron sights, but not with the red dot. Any thoughts or suggestions? You got to make sure you're mirroring your head behind it, same place every time. And when you're shooting groups with that red dot, flip up. Actually put the red dot on that front sight. Right, and I know the advantage of a red dot is you can have that red dot anywhere in the glass and it's supposed to be able to hit. But they still have a little bit of parallax. So if it's co-witnessed, put that front sight post right where that red dot is. Your front sight post is going to be a little bit blurry, but sit it there. And what that does, you're not actually aiming with the front sight post, but what you're doing is you are perfectly aligning the pupil of your eye behind that red dot every time. And what that's going to do is make sure that that pupil is in the same spot behind that red dot every time. And that's going to put the bullet in the same place every time. How you're getting better with iron sights is because you've actually got 2 points that you're aligning, your rear sight and your front sight. You need to do the same thing with a red dot. I know they market it that you don't need to. The advantage of a red dot is rapid acquisition. That's it. For accuracy, on my guns, what I do is when I got to shoot long distance or when I'm zeroing, I hit the button and I flip up that front sight and I put that red dot right on my front sight, and that in turn aligns my pupil perfectly behind that red dot every time. Guys, I do the same thing on my pistols. The optic on my pistol, because remember, I can't have my cheek there. I don't have a flip up front sight on the front of my rifle, but I do have tall suppressor sights on my pistol. So for shooting that 100-meter piece of steel, I press that gun out and I will line up that red dot, or in my case a chevron, because I'm running the Vulcan reticle. I put my chevron right on top of my front sight. I aim at the berm. I don't even aim at the target. I make sure they're perfectly aligned, and then I bring them up onto the target and roll through that trigger. 1 pound, add 1 pound, double check, make sure the chevron is right on the front sight post, add another pound, double check, make sure I still have good sight alignment, add that 3rd pound, double check it again. I'm right in the middle of my target. I'm holding where I need to be. So like at 80 meters, I need to be the bottom half of the plate because it has 100 meters 0. All right. So it's still hitting a little bit high. All right. So, and then I add that last pound. My 3.5 pound trigger breaks as I'm going to that 4th pound. And proper sight alignment, you're going to tighten that up. Excellent question. Excellent question. All right. Falling behind again. Blah, 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 blah. Scott Smith, how do you find out what your dominant eye is for shooting? All right, all of you can do this right now. Make a triangle with your fingers. Make a triangle. Make a triangle. Make a triangle. All right, now, you see smiley face crying right here? Jerry J actually gave me that. I want you guys to put smiley face crying. All right, make your triangle a little bit smaller. All right, a little bit smaller. All right, a little bit smaller. All right, and then I want you to bring your triangle straight back to your eye. Bring it straight back to your eye, and what you're going to find is I am left eye dominant. I am right eye dominant. You make a small triangle, all right? Put it on something. You can put it on the logo on the front of my shirt if you're doing this on your phone. And then bring it slowly straight back to your eye. And what you're going to find is it's going to go straight back to your dominant eye. Very, very easy. Everybody should know what their dominant eye is. Excellent question. You guys have got some good ones tonight. You do. You've got some good ones. All right. Steve's off cooling off again. Lev LeBlanc. Hey, gents, looking for an optic for my 4570 Marlin guide gun. Old eyes. Can't work the irons very well. Rangers lead the way. I just got a new lever gun. It is a Henry. It's the Lone Ranger Express, I believe is what it's called. It is a 5.56 lever gun. Now, it doesn't have a tube magazine because the bullets are too sharp. It would hit the primers. So it takes a little 5-round box. But my point, though, is this thing is a tack driver with 77 grain ammo. But what I did was I put the sister of this. I got a low mount for it. It's actually 2 scope rings. It sits very, very low, much lower than this. Get the lowest rings that will fit. And this is the brand new Platinum Series 1-to-8 power. It is half the weight of, this is the old Platinum Series 1-to-8 Vulcan, not Vulcan, what was this one? Raptor, or the Griffin. This is the one I did a video on before, and it's awesome, but they did some work with it. This is the modern version of it. It's half the weight. 1-to-8 power, first focal plane. They got a 10 power one, that's second focal plane. I insist on first focal plane. So you got 1X leaf for that lever gun for up close, deer right under your tree stand. Illuminated reticle, everything. But stretching that lever gun out, your 4570, you're still pushing enough energy to drop that deer at 200-300 meters. This, specifically the Griffin, has a mil reticle on it. So if you've got data, your applied ballistics program on your iPhone, and you know, hey, my 4570, you laze the deer, that deer's right at 270 or 250 meters. All right, well, I know I need to hold 1.8 mils or whatever it is. I'm not a 4570 guy. Steve could probably regurgitate this right off the top of his head. But my point, though, is this is a 1-to-8. And guys, and Vortex has a good 1-to-8, good 1-to-6. EOTech is their Voodoo. They've got a good variable power. Leopold's got Leopold and Night Force. Everybody's got good variable powers. I like this ACSS reticle. Good stuff indeed. That's what I would go with, Leaf. Leaf, if you need a discount on that, reach out to me. I'm hoping you got all the flood damage cleared up, and hopefully you can make it down to Palatka, Florida, the end of October for Operation Black Cat. I'm gonna be bringing my son back down there. Emery's going down. We're gonna go round canopy parachute jump. Oh hell no! That shit's dangerous. Oh, God. I don't want to jump anymore.
My knees are hurting already.
I know, but I promised my son I'd go with him. So it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Okay.
All right.
It's fun to you land.
What is your favorite holster from JX Tactical? Without a doubt, it's called the Fat Guy. All right. It is. It's literally, you look at the name of it, guys. It no shit it says Fat Guy. Don't judge me, all right? But I got a little bit of a jelly roll. I do. I got a little bit of a jelly roll. It sits. It just rides good, dude. It just rides good. No matter whether I'm sitting in the vehicle or whether I'm standing, walking around, it doesn't print bad. And it's basically designed so if you've got a little Dunlap and that Dunlap over the top of your gun, it still sits good. So it is what it is. Right now I'm running it with, this is actually what I'm running my EDC right now. I'm sorry guys, I'm not allowed to play with guns on a live stream. One of YouTube's rules, but you can see the wear and tear inside the holster already. I've never ran the soft loops like this. I've never ran them, so I'm trying them out. But honestly, I'm really leaning towards the ulti clips that Emery puts on the back of his scabbards of his knives. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be, and you see where the different holes where you can adjust this thing up and down on those holes. So if you want to adjust the height for whatever size firearm you're running, that's just my personal favorite, guys. And again, there's a lot of EDC holsters out there. The Ronin 3.0 is another good holster, especially if you're going to be shooting a lot all day long. It's great for literally shooting all day long. It'll probably be the holster I would carry when we do our EDC course, simply because I'm going to be shooting 300 rounds in a single day. But a EDC, when you guys start looking at purchasing an EDC holster, it has to be comfortable or you're not going to carry the gun with you. And that, more than anything else, is more important, that you have the gun in the gunfight. Otherwise, it's a gun attack. If somebody is coming at you with a gun, it's a attack. But if you also have a gun, it's then a gun fight. So step one, you have to have the gun, which means it's got to be comfortable. It's got to be comfortable. But after that, you've got to be able to draw. Now, everybody thinks about that is, well, that's easy. I just got to be able to draw. It's not as easy as it sounds. You have to have enough of that firearm clearing so that you can properly establish purchase, get that good grip before you draw. And you can see how low that's cut at that side. I'm able to get my fingers around the grip to establish that perfect grip on my draw. And not all holsters you can do that. They're not. And anyway, It is what it is. Decent question.
Can I pull up my haversack, show a couple things?
Yeah, let's talk haversack here. Guys, I'm going to get back to y'all here in a minute. But Steve, what do you have in your haversack today?
What we have in our haversack today?
Oh, you brought gloves. Must be cold outside.
No, I always keep gloves, knife, ballistic glasses, light. Always got to have them.
You sound like Randy.
First off, gloves. Well, how does Randy say it? Gloves are shoes for your hands.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. First off, I was watching Randy's video about blades, cutlery.
Yep.
And the first thing he showed was this little tiny mini that I gave him, like I think last year or something like that.
Yeah.
So I brought you one.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Well, thank you, Steve.
You're welcome, KE.
Damn, I like getting free shit.
It's a gift. You degrade it when you say free shit.
No.
It's a gift.
A gift. I like a gift. Nice. I got a knife today. Sweet. I don't want to cut myself with this thing. This is a Kershaw. Look how small it is. Good googly moogly, dude. That's like a... Guys, that's a no shit liner lock. All right, so this is the Kershaw Cinder. And you guys saw the video Randy did, and Randy, no joke, carries this thing all the time.
Yeah.
And
I'm not into advertising for Kershaw. It just happens that it's a couple of their smaller blades that I like for everyday carry. And Randy was at the house helping me trim some fruit trees, and he wouldn't take anything. And I said, Randy, here's I gave him two different knives, and I saw it on this video, so saw Carl looking at it, so I thought I'd bring one for Carl.
that's a pile of hair right there, guys. That's pretty nasty. That's some nasty ass shit right there. That's a sharp knife.
So, going along with
Well,
the
thank you,
knives,
Steve. I appreciate that.
I bought in my haversack.
In your haversack.
Snap.
Oh shit. That's like an adult round right there. That's an Apache.
That's an Apache. For the
Okay.
video
Yeah,
where we put the 230 LF chain gun onto the new SOCOM vehicle.
The Apache 30 millimeter chain gun. Remember the video? We did it on our live stream here a couple weeks ago. Man, if I had known you were going to bring this, I would have had the video so we could play it. There's a video. You can find it on my Instagram. Go to our Instagram. There's a video of Steve on this little Flyer 1.1. And he's tearing shit up with this.
Make that sound again.
I can't do it as
So
good as he can.
you got the juke juke juke. I got the minigun.
You got the minigun. Okay.
Okay. Settle. Done. Settle. Done.
All right. For all my ATF nutbags out there that are watching, one, first you should resign because you're working for the wrong branch of government. But two, this is an inert round. Do not be raiding Steve Holland's house. Okay. Inert round. No, I'm serious. They're just looking for shit. You guys understand the feds just they're raiding people for selling milk that's unpasteurized. There's a video that one of Steve's buddies sent me. The feds, they're raiding this Amish guy. They showed up with a warrant because he's selling unpasteurized milk. You understand it's voluntary if you buy stuff from the Amish. You don't have to buy stuff from them. They're not forcing people to take their unpasteurized milk.
Is there a law against unpasteurized?
Yeah. Oh, there is. Dude.
Really?
Food and Drug Administration. It has to be pasteurized.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. See? Learn something every day.
So, anyways, if you're an ATF agent, I don't know why you would do that. That's like
No, I wouldn't say that because there are good people in every agency and every.
And if you're one of those good people at the ATF, why are you there? Why are you there? You should be working for the DEA and actually making the world a better place. Alcohol's not illegal. Tobacco's not illegal. Firearms are not illegal. I'm just saying.
So I'm not going to go into my bag of polymer ammo.
Nice.
We're not going to go into that tonight.
Imagine this in polymer.
Now this is what I call my secret box.
The secret box.
As you guys know, I dabble in ammunition design. I did the Mark 270 grain, 77 grain for SOCOM. I did the 6.8 SBC. I actually did the 6.8 by 51, but we didn't chase that rabbit down the hole. Right. But now Sig and everybody else is. So
we're gonna do one more quick giveaway real quick. All right. Guys, we're going to draw this at 9:15, so that's in 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes.
Okay.
I want you to put Joe, J-O-E, Joe is the winner. Joe, not the winner, he hasn't won yet. Joe the Knife Guy, he sent me, this is called a combat optic tool. And if you're a war fighter overseas or you're just a guy that goes out to the range a lot, he sent me a couple of these things, and he's got a national stock number for them. Guys, it's literally something you can keep on your keychain. But they're great for adjusting all your optics. And also, that you'll notice the end, the little hexagon wrench at the end, that is sized properly for your gas tubes on a lot of your guns. So, especially your machine guns. So anyways, I'm going to give one of them away today. I'm going to save the other one. But we're going to draw here in 4 minutes. If you want to be the winner of the combat optic tool, real easy, guys, real easy. I'm sorry it's not a $10,000 optic tool, because you know what? I would end up losing it. So a $10 combat optic tool is something that fits inside my case from my multi-tool, and I can keep with me. Yeah, there's just lots of cool stuff you can do. You can use it as a, if you've got brass over bolt, you can literally grab the face of your bolt carrier group, yank it back while you're pushing up on that charging handle. Different uses for it. So for Joe the Knife Guy out there, big shout out to Joe. You are, Joe, me and Joe, we've been friends for 20 years, 22 years Joe. Actually. I met him at my first SHOT Show. Anyways, Joe, I helped Joe get certain national stock numbers for different stuff. And Joe's good people. So he's been hooking you guys up with a lot of giveaways because he likes tactical riflemen almost as much as me and Steve do. So thank you, Joe, for getting me these to give out to people. I just want to, I'm having a good day, guys. I ran a chainsaw all day yesterday with Randy, so I knew I was going to wake up with a sore back today. I didn't. I got stung by 3 of my honeybees 2 days ago, working on one of my beehives. They stung me through my suit in 2 places, and one of them went up my glove, back up on my sleeve, because I had about 1,000 bees on me. They were pissed off. But all the swelling's gone away. I got up this morning, expected a sore back, be all swollen up. Now I'm having a great day, Steve.
Because you're super cool.
Great. I don't know about all that.
Super cool.
But so we're doing 3 giveaways tonight. We're going to draw here in 2 minutes. Susan Britcher is going to hook us up with the winner. And then...
Okay, in 2 minutes, we're going back to...
Yeah, do it.
Steve's secret box.
Secret box. What's in the secret box, Steve?
When you open the box, you hear this heavenly choir going, oh, oh. Now, I'm not going to show you guys all the things in the secret box because then it wouldn't be a secret. But I dabble in ammunition development. Yeah. I'm going to show you just one of the concepts that goes to Steve's head.
Damn, you do have a lot of good stuff in there, don't you?
What? Ready? Yeah. Look at that.
What the hell? That is a straight walled. Holy shit. All right, that's a green tip too. 62 grain green tip 223 in a straight wall. Holy smoke, Steve. What? What kind of gun shoots that? That's got to be a break action Thompson Center contender or something.
It's the mind is always at work. Always at work. So it wait a minute.
So that's not even a
going back in the box.
That's not even a 22 Magnum. That's a 22 magnanimous Magnum. 22 magnanimous Magnum. Okay. In green tip with steel core.
Okay.
All right. What else you got?
No, we
enough for today.
Can't go into the secret box too much. Everything that's on the internet stays on the internet.
All right, we'll save the secret box.
Some companies out there is going to be like, oh, let's go make these.
All right, we are at 9:15. Susan just sent us our winner. The winner of the weird Thule thing. Susan, come on now. I understand you're from Australia. You're not allowed to have guns over there. And I had to check the name myself. It's called the Combat Optic Tool. The winner of the Combat Optic Tool, the COT. The winner of the weird Thule thingy is Rudy72. Rudy72, you just won a Combat Optic Tool. All right. For the rest of you guys, if you want to check this thing out, I'm going to stand it up like that. It's actually made by Patriot Products of Arizona. All right. Patriot Products, Arizona. And there is a national stock number for all my guys in the military. You can't pull that up. But for the rest of y'all, if you want to grab one of these, hunt it on the internet. And you can get your hands on one of these too. Or you can come back next Tactical Tuesday. Maybe I'll give another one away. So congratulations to Rudy72. Rudy72, if you're the winner, take a picture of your avatar. Email it to tacticalrifleman1@gmail.com. Be sure to put in there what you won, that you won the Combat Optic Tool.
The COT.
All right, because I won't remember what to send you. And I might accidentally send you the 1X Micro Prism, and that would suck. No, it's all good, guys. It's all good. All right.
So the last show,
right, keep going.
We talked about polymer 38 special.
38 special. Yep.
For you guys,
that's polymer, guys. That's not metal. That is a plastic casing with rim, by the way, with rim. Dude, I need like 10,000 of these. I need 10,000 rounds of that, dude.
Let's get it going, Tactical Rifleman Nation.
All right, so a couple of you guys have actually reached out saying, have you talked to any of them yet?
No, because when you told me that some had, then you said they
go check your emails.
Then it's like, check your junk box. So I had some issues, and I was trying to get it straight the other day.
Guys, if you reached out to me, I did pass your names on to Steve. That would be Paul is one, and then Kraken, another one. And anybody else, if you're interested in getting in on coming up with investors, this is the next generation of ammo. It's gonna happen eventually. You might as well be on the front end of it.
So
I passed it on to Steve, but Steve hasn't gotten it yet.
They got it. Yeah. We got it.
Yeah.
So imagine this.
Okay.
Then imagine this.
That is a solid brass projectile. Cool.
That is a 44 Magnum.
44
lever action fans. Honey Badger. 44 Magnum Honey Badger.
All right, guys. Why are those cuts on there? That's actually the slang term for it is an external hollow point. What I mean by that is if I take a hollow point, right, a regular hollow point. This one's filled with a polymer insert. But the problem with hollow points is when they hit somebody that's got a lot of thick winter coats on, think Chicago, right? Like there should be lots of shooting going on in Chicago. The hollow point will actually fill up with layers of clothing, and then when it actually hits that fluid, that human body, it basically just goes through as a full metal jacket.
Full metal jacket solid.
Shooting somebody in a home defense scenario, same thing. It goes through 2 layers of drywall. Your hollow point has filled up with drywall, and now it's like you hitting the guy with full metal jacket. To get around that, this is Hornady Critical Duty, and they have a polymer insert to keep the drywall from getting in there. That's okay. Does okay. But how this works is it basically expands, and so now instead of you hitting a guy with this is a 45 ACP, it's like you're hitting the guy with a 65 ACP. Okay, you're pushing a golf ball through the guy. All right. The advantages of the cuts on the side, they are, we call it an external hollow point. They're still great for penetrating drywall, still great for penetrating clothing, still great for penetrating car windshields, car doors, but they don't fill up with trash. And then when they hit, because remember, these things are spinning with the revolutions of the rifling in your pistol. So look at them. Now visualize the paddle wheels on a paddle boat. As it's spinning, when it hits a fluid, it pushes all that fluid out of the way. And hydrodynamics, it's literally pushing waves out. And you end up getting much better secondary cavitation. Your permanent wound cavity is not any bigger than a ball round. But the secondary cavitation, that part that's going to stretch out that spleen or that liver, organs that are not designed to stretch, and it ends up tearing them. When it hits, and you understand your body is full of fluid, right? It spreads those shock waves out. This is very, very effective ammo. My EDC ammo that I carry, I don't know if I have it in this magazine. I can show you guys a mag, can I? I'm not allowed to show you. Hollow point, gonna make a liar out of me. The one that's actually in my gun has got, these are all hollow point. My G9 that I run are external hollow points. My backup mag is whatever I have laying around, and it's G9 hollow point.
So for you 4570 fans,
yeah, those are some sexy ones right
we're
there.
looking at this in 45 Colt and 4570. And because it is a copper solid, you're lighter in weight for caliber. This is a 44 Magnum, 160 grain. So you know the standard 44 Magnum is 240 grain. 240 grain at about 1350, 1400 feet per second. And 160 is up in the 1550, 1600 feet per second. Lever gun, 18, 19, 20 inch barrel. 45 long Colt, 4570. Woohoo! Lord have mercy.
We were shooting that at that car up there in Vermont when we were doing that law enforcement class. We had a bunch of great cops up there in Vermont. Marshals and locals. There was all kinds of guys there. A little bit of everything. And anyways, long story short, they had a car there because we were doing shooting through glass and barrier penetration and stuff like that. But at the end, Steve started busting out the 4570, the 6.8, and we were amazed by what that 4570 with the solid copper slugs, the milled copper slugs, would. They were knocking the snot out of stuff. Understand when you say copper, guys. I understand brass is basically, it's got a little bit of copper and it's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But even when they say copper, it's like saying gold. It's not pure gold. If it's 24 karat gold, okay, it's pure gold. But most of your rings are 18 karat gold, 10 karat gold, 22 karat gold. Copper is the same way. A lot of your copper is very, very soft. If you get like a copper tea kettle, things like that. But there are some types of copper that are soft enough that they're not going to damage the lands and grooves in the gun, but hard enough that you are hitting and penetrating those A pillars, those B pillars on the vehicles, going through windshields, going through car doors, going through concrete walls. The copper projectiles, when they first came out, they were more for extreme accuracy, very, very long, sharp things milled on a lathe. And but now you look at Barnes triple shock in we were calling it the brown tip ammo in Mosul.
Yeah.
All that classified ammo was Barnes triple shock. It's badass in 5.56. Woo!
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So probably either the next TR Live show next Tuesday or maybe Tuesday after that, I'll show you guys a 45-70. It's whew. As Jerry Clowes said, Lord have mercy, somebody shoot that thing. Oh, can't shoot up there, Jerry.
That, Steve.
I might hit you. Well, shoot up here amongst us. One of us got to have relief.
All right, guys. We are 2.5 hours into this live stream. I'm going to get back to a couple more questions here. Are you much of an angler, and if so, done any fishing downrange? Actually, I've fished on Camp Liberty in Baghdad. I have. Honest, a lot of times when I go fishing, I could care less about catching anything. I go fishing to relax. There are days where I'll just out of the blue won't have anything going on, and I'll look left, I'll look right, and I got like 4 hours with like nothing. What do? Most people would jump on the couch, all right? And that's trust me, I like to do that, but I know I shouldn't. So you know what I do? I jump in my Jeep with my kayak on the top, and I basically go drop off the Jeep at the park where I can get out, and then my wife drives me up, and I put my kayak in, and all I do is I go. It's about a 7-mile jaunt down the river, and I got a little collapsible fishing pole, and I've got my little tackle box, and sometimes I have a fishing license. And honest, I could care less if I catch anything. I just get out, I relax, I have just as much fun playing with the different types of mechanical bait. You know, some stay on the surface and jump like frogs, some go deep, some stay in the middle. Now see, Steve, I was going to say, Steve likes to fish. Steve likes to fish. All right.
Going through Georgia, St. Simon's Island, Jekyll Island, saltwater.
We already got that one.
And I'm stuck up here in Tennessee.
So is the Zero Mastery actually on Thursday the 15th, and what classes are being offered Friday, Saturday, Sunday? The 15th, which is Thursday, that is Carbine Zero Mastery. Friday and Saturday is Advanced Pistol Carbine. Now, if you've already taken our Pistol Carbine course, cool. You can attend the Advanced Pistol Carbine course. Now, I do have guys that say, well, hey, I've already been to all these other classes. I can skip all your other ones, and I'll just take your advanced course. I'm not big on doing that, and don't get me wrong, I'm making an exception a couple times this class. I am, and it never works out. The guys always miss out on so much that we cover in our Combat Pistol Carbine course, which is Tuesday and Wednesday. So Combat Pistol 101 is Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday are Pistol Carbine. Thursday is Carbine Zero Mastery, and then Friday and Saturday is Advanced Pistol Carbine. Carbine Zero Mastery, guys, is if you carry an AR or a Tavor or an AK or anything with a red dot or prism or an EOTech or a low power variable optic, you need to know your point blank zero. And unfortunately, most people don't train past 25 meters with their rifle. It's a rifle. It is capable of 400 meters, but at a minimum 200. Oh, I can't see past 200. Okay, but 200, it's a rifle. You should be crushing. You understand? My shot group at 200 meters is that big. That big, guys. 200 meters. 200. So anyways, that's the course I recommend to everybody, without a doubt. Wow, I've got to jump again. Sorry. All right. I got one here. Have you played around with... Oh, hold on. What is your go-to EDC pistol that is on the market today? Mid-range price. How about dirt cheap? Glock 19. Guys, for me, first and foremost, the pistol has to run reliably. Number one. Number two, I need it to be accurate. And three, I need the manual arms to be easy for me to maintain. That's a Glock. It is the most reliable gun on the planet. It is accurate enough for me to hit plates at head-size plates at 100 meters. And the manual arms is awesome. The only thing missing from it is an external safety. I wish it had that. My Sig M17, M18 has an external safety. I like that gun. I do. Now, if you're T-shirts a lot, board shorts, bathing suits, then I just wear my church pistol, which is my Glock 43X. It's slightly smaller. All my manual arms is the same. The equivalent of that is the Sig 365. Those would be, if you're new to EDC, you need to look at a Glock 43X and a Sig 365. Those are the two I would push you to. Make sure you get ones that are capable of taking optics. Both of them will take flashlights. You are a fool. I'm calling you a fool to your face. That's all of you guys. If you don't have a light on your EDC pistol. Oh, I don't need a light, Carl. I've got tritium sights. Tritium sights help you see where your pistol is aiming. It does not help you tell if it's a target that warrants deadly force. Heaven forbid you shoot the wrong person. Please don't do that, guys. All right. I'm trying to get caught up here. Downrange, EDC pistol. I have a question for Steve. Using 77 grain Sierra Match King, what does he think is the best 16-inch mid-length or 18-inch rifle length when shooting out to 500-600 meters? You like 16 or 18-inch? 600 meters.
That's a odd question, really, because range is velocity. Velocity is range. However, we all know that when you run ammo, there's always a sweet spot for the ammo and the barrel. And a lot of times, your most accurate load is not your fastest load. You'll find that across the spectrum of ammo for shooting for accuracy when you talk 5.56, 77 grain. I mean, quite naturally, if I'm going out to 500 or 600, I'm going to go with a longer barrel because I got more velocity. But at the same time, you have to find whether it's a 16.5-inch barrel, 18.5-inch barrel. It's kind of like when we did the Mark 12. We started off with 18.5-inch, found out that the guys liked the 16.5-inch, and then we have to find the sweet spot for that load. So you can vary the ammunition and ammunition weight. You can vary 10, 15 different powders, and each powder you can go so many different load variants. Mm-hmm. It's like a self-licking ice cream cone. If you find something that's sweet, like with the 6.8, we found that with Ramshot powder, Western Powder's Ramshot, it was a special blend, but it was very, very close to their Terminator powder. We found that sweet spot at about 31 grains. And that bullet, we're shooting the 110 Hornady VMAXs and the 115 grain Sierras. That bullet, that barrel, and that length just settled down, and it shoots hard. So, I can't sit there and say, hey, go with 18, because I don't have the data I used to have when we did the Mark 12, where we started at 20 and cut an inch off of each barrel. with the loads, and we shot the spread at the AMU. And I'm talking about a huge spread, 10 shot groups times 10 at each barrel length, and we found which one worked at each different barrel length. So, if you're stuck on 5 and 600, go at the 18 inch and find out whose load of the 77 grain your gun likes, because you can shoot Sierra load, the Hornady load, the Remington load, the Winchester load, the Black Hills load, and one of those loads are going to shoot better than the other with that 77 grain bullet at 18 inches. And if you had a buddy 16 and a half inch, do the same thing and find out which one of that load gets happy at 16 and a half inches, and then go with that. I mean, there's no, just can't say 18 or 16. It depends on your ammo. So many variables, basically.
All right. We had somebody asking about the 6-arc earlier. I don't have any experience with the 6-arc. Basically,
it's a
6.5 Grendel.
No. It's a 6.8 neck down to 6 millimeter.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's still trying to fit it inside of a 5.56 magazine. That's all it is. The adult guns, everybody's shooting 6.5 Creedmoor, but if you look and see the more accurate guns are these 6 millimeter Creedmoors, but you don't get as much barrel life. It's a longer projectile, more wear on the barrel.
Ballistic coefficient. When you take case volume and load density, then you start looking at bore size. There is a sweet spot with bore size, case size and bore size. The smaller you go, let's say down to 6 millimeter, for that bullet to retain a high BC, you're either going to push that bullet down, let's say 5.56, 2.25 overall length, and it's going to sit in that case and take away case capacity, load density. If you push it further out, then you can't fit it in the magazine.
Yeah.
But if you go up more to 6.5 or 270, 277, 6.8,
yeah,
then you find that sweet spot. And we did 6.5 SPC, we did 7 millimeter SPC, we did 7.62 SPC. We went back to the 270 because that was the sweet spot for that case diameter, load density to bore diameter was sweet at 6.8. And we spent a lot of time at the AMU with guns locked in cradles, shooting at their 300-yard target across the radars.
I got one here from Prep Brothers Homestead. Carl, have you had any of your disabled or older students have to carry with a shoulder holster in your classes? If so, any suggestions? Thanks. Only a couple of times. But we have people overseas, officers working staff jobs that carry shoulder holsters all the time. Basically, if you're carrying a shoulder holster, you don't plan on ever using your gun. When we see somebody with a shoulder holster, it literally means that they do not train with that firearm. All right. Here's what I'm saying. All right. Now, if your joints are so bad that you can reach here, but you can't reach right here, cross draw. All right. I understand a lot of people cannot move that holster, that arm all the way back. I got that. All right. I have had students show up in wheelchairs with their holsters mounted on the chair. And that is better than having a cross draw shoulder holster. It just is. I've had guys wear a chest rig. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's like a bino case that people hunt with. Hill People Gear makes a great one. It's a holster that actually sits on your chest. So if you can do this, you can do this.
Right.
All right. All right. And that's pointed this way. The problem with a shoulder holster, guys, is if that's downrange and your pistol is a shoulder holster, even like that, you drawing it, you're flagging everybody on that side of the range. So, whenever working with military units where they have an officer or somebody that insists on using a shoulder holster, I have to put that gentleman or that female officer I say it because it was always an officer. I had to put them literally all the way down at the far left end of the range so that as they drew, they wouldn't flag anybody to their left. Now,
hold that thought. Is this from Travis?
That came in from this guy right here. His name is Tom Nagel. Tom Nagel's one of you guys. He's one of my stalking patrons out there. And he sent us a care package. And he sent Steve a couple of these sets of body armor for his beer bottle.
Oh, so, the reason I said was it from Travis Hall, I thought it was body armor for my dog.
No, dude, that is body armor for your beer bottle.
Thank you. What's his name?
Tom Nagel.
Mr. Nagel, thank you, sir.
He actually has a question for you, Steve. Okay. What rifle twist is best for an AR using 55 to 62 grain ammo? I read different comments on this and was wondering what your preference was.
Truly, 1 to 9 is good. The only reason the military uses 1 to 7 is because of the tracer. The tracer is a much longer bullet. Projectile needs to be spun up faster. But if you look at the Camp Perry shooters, the competitors, they're running 1 and 8, 1 and 9. A 55 grain, 1 and 9 is fine. 1 and 8, is fine. I'm a true believer in don't spin it no faster than you have to.
Yes.
Truly. And one of the projects, and guys, you know how much I love spending time with you guys in the TR Nation. I gotta go. I got a 40-minute drive, but we did some work with gain twist barrels. It had a lot of really good results, and I forgot all about that whole time period when we did that project. To Sean Renock reminded me a couple of weeks ago. He said, "Hey, this gain twist barrels." I go, "Oh my gosh!" And basically, the concept is, let's say you're shooting a 1 to 10, so you're doing a 3-twist ratio. If you're going 10, you're starting off at the chamber at 30. So it's 1 in 30 at the chamber, and the bullet spins, gets really good velocity because there's less lance groove resistance, everything else. And toward the end of the barrel, it spins it out at 10. We got some really good results with that. I mean, oh my gosh, I had one is a 308 running 155 grain. 100 AMAXs and 30 to 10 on a 22-inch barrel. Oh my gosh. And I think the velocity, we were picking up something like 20, 25 feet per second more because of the speed, because you're 1 in 30 starting off. So I would say, man, I hate you to get a 1 in 9 and the 62s don't like it, but the 55s do. Then you get a 1 to 8, and the 62s like it, and the 55s don't. But I'm almost certain 1 in 8, you're not going to have a problem. If you could run 1 in 9, like I said, I don't like spinning a bullet because you're putting trauma on that bullet. That's why we don't like cantilever bullets, because you're crimping it, and then you got the cantilever. You're putting a bad spot on that bullet, and the slower the rate, the less trauma it is on that bullet. I mean, but again, we are a nation, the TR Nation, of people of accuracy. I mean, we're like a half an inch, quarter inch. Sometimes I'm like, guys, combat accuracy, I'll see the AK-47 and 123 grain bullet do a lot of shit that the books say it shouldn't do.
I'm a 2 MOA shooter, but understand that's 4-inch shot group at 200 yards. I'll keep them within 4 inches at 200 yards.
So I don't have time. I got into this last week. I get more back into the Bussy Gemini and the history of the Bussy knives, as Bussy made the knives for our fallen heroes in 5th Group that went to the Gold Star families. And I bought my little happy hatchet, and I'll get into that next time.
Next Tuesday.
But definitely love it, guys. And I got a scoop. And I know Carl thinks that I don't know the whole thing. I do, but just a part to keep it short. Blessed is he it ain't
the path of the righteous. You
No,
got to start
no,
from
I
the
don't-
top, Steve.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of charity and goodwill, shepherds the weak. That's you guys. Shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness, for he and or she is truly her brother's or sister's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon them with great vengeance and furious
anger
those
who attempt to poison and destroy my brother
and sisters.
Yeah.
And you will know.
My name is the Lord.
See, I hit that part because blessed are you guys who shepherd the weak.
I'm reading it off the poster up on the wall that Steve got me. Steve knows it. I don't know it, guys. All right, Steve, you travel safe, brother. We love you. All right, I got a couple last few here I want to get through. Wow, Susan, I'm a terrible person. All right, I'm going to rewind just a little bit. Yeah, the shoulder holsters, guys, honestly, if that's what you're running outside the waistband, you know, I don't want EDC holsters for our pistol classes. Before you come to a class, let me know what holster you're shooting, and I will work things out with you. But honestly, shoulder holsters do not equate for somebody that actually practices a lot. That's instructors see people like that, and that's how it equates. All right, have I played around with the 6mm arc yet? I have a little bit. I know that's the latest hotness. It's cool. It's fun to play with. It's like 300 blackout. There's so much you can do with 300 blackout, but everything that they're trying to get out of a 6mm arc, a 300 Norma, yeah, it's 3 times the weight. So what? If I want accuracy, 6mm arc, I know it's the latest hotness. It's the latest hotness, but it's not going to win against a 6mm Creedmoor. It's not going to win against a 300 Norma at the 2 kilometer line. It's just not. It's not. I understand it's the latest hotness. So now I mentioned 300 blackout. People ask me, what's your opinion on 300 blackout? I don't have an opinion. They're like, Carl, you just talked for 30 minutes about 7.62 by 51. I don't have enough experience with 300 blackout. So AAC gave me an upper. Remington gave me 300 round supersonic, 300 round subsonic. A month later, they're like, so what's your opinion? I'm like, I don't have one yet. And they're like, what? I'm like, hold on. I'm hand loading stuff now in 300 blackout. So I'm not saying I'm not going to go down the 6mm arc road. I'm just saying I'm not doing it right now. Next question's from KS. Your mom didn't give you your real name, just initials? Man, that box, she must have had people just falling out of that thing. Carl, what is your take on the IRS arming themselves again? Guys, the IRS is not arming themselves again. Understand, no matter where you go, there are FBI guys that carry guns, but there are also FBI guys that do not carry guns. There are State Department people that do not carry guns. There are people at the State Department that do carry guns. You go to Border Patrol, there are people that carry guns. There are also people in the office that do not carry guns. The IRS is the same way. All right? Do not, guys, vote. All right, and we will turn all this IRS shit off. It's what, 70,000, 80,000 new IRS agents? Understand that FLETC has only got 5 schools. That's federal education, all right? They've only got 5 schools in the entire U.S. So even if they took over all the classrooms, and because it's an 11-week course, by the way, and they started a new one every month, it would still take like 5 years just to train all those new IRS agents. That's if they all pass the test first time through, and that's if they all decided to actually take that shit job, right? What college kids get out with a CPA and decide they want to go work for the IRS? Nobody, because you hate yourself every time you go to work. Right? So I understand the politicians are weaponizing the IRS. I got that. But please don't get sucked into this stuff while they're arming them. And please, guys, don't. There is so much true information out there, but there's a lot of tin hat shit also. And you need to be smart about what comes in. And I encourage you to second guess everything. I encourage you to doubt everything and then go do your homework on it. And yeah, and what you'll find is a lot of the tin hat shit is just that. It's tin hat shit. All right. My opinion of arming the IRS agents, honest, they can come in, they do an audit because I keep great books. I save all my receipts. I don't need to cheat on my taxes. My father-in-law taught me, bless his heart, he passed away last summer. Great man. But one of the things he taught me is instead of complaining about having to pay taxes, be thankful that you can pay taxes. Yeah, and that's the truth. He made a lot of money, and he paid a lot of money in taxes. I want them to fix the tax code. It should be a flat tax. There should be no deductions, none. Well, I'm a nonprofit, so I'm tax free. No, no. Your church, all our donations are tax free. No, they're not. And you know what? People wouldn't give money to the church, but they'd be paying a lot less in taxes if we did a flat tax. And you'd still give money to the churches because you wouldn't be giving it to the government instead. The government would get their taxes and the rich guys wouldn't get out of it because they're the ones that are getting all the tax write-offs. They write off, Warren Buffett he laughs that he pays less tax than his CEO does because his CEO doesn't get all the deductions that Warren Buffett does. Warren Buffett gets to write everything off just like the Clintons do. Flat tax across the board. Do that, and then you'd be surprised how none of them will vote for that. None of them will vote for it. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. They won't do it. Here's one from Tiger Shock. What outside the waistband concealed carry weapon holster do you like? I can't go next size pants up, so I run it outside the waistband holster. Just put a light on my gun, so I need a new holster. That's this one right here, dude. All right. JX Tactical has got great. Now, this is actually what we call a paddle holster. You can just clip it right on the top of your jeans for when you're not wearing a belt. All right. But I actually have it here. I got the screws pouring out all over the desk here. One thing it comes with is, now I'm old school, so I'm not a big paddle guy. This thing right here, and again, this allows you to cant your angle. And what it's for is, you notice it's got two different sizes for two different size belts. Why? Because some days guys wear wider leather belts, and other days when you go to church, you wear a narrower one. Now, I run a outside the waistband holster in the wintertime. I do, because here's the deal. When you're carrying a firearm, remember, all my duty guns are from 3 o'clock. So I want to carry that holster there. Now, when I'm in just a t-shirt, 3 o'clock prints too much. So I appendix carry. It's a lot easier when I'm in a vehicle, put the seatbelt behind it. But whether you're wearing a t-shirt or you're wearing a t-shirt and a hoodie and a winter jacket, your pistol should only be under one layer of clothing, right? So if you're wearing a t-shirt and a hoodie and a winter jacket, that hoodie, that jacket, that firearm needs to be outside that hoodie. When you go inside and you take that jacket off, you pull the hoodie up over the outside of that firearm. So you're only having to clear one layer of clothing. And this JX Tactical holster does that. You notice it is set up for taking my X300 light on my Glock 19. All All right, so if you're a little larger and you have to run at 3 o'clock, okay. Emery actually runs from the small of his back. He runs a left-handed holster and has it so he can draw right-handed from the small of his back. All right, some guys will run it at 5 o'clock. I can't run at 5 o'clock. Actually used to run at 4 o'clock on my belt, but my bottom floating rib has been broken so many times and healed wrong that literally I can't even have the cushion on my seat there in my Jeep. The cushion is cut out. The pain will never go away. All right. All right. So Susan is taking off, going back to work. And so it's just me and Donut Eater here now. All right. Yeah, we're going to do our last question right here, guys. We're going to wrap this up. 5 to 9, MN Farmer. Best recommendation for 6mm ARC or 6.5 Grendel magazine, but a specific 6mm mag or just use a 5.56 mag. I have no opinion on this. And here's why. 6.5 Grendel was the latest hotness 15 years ago. And it went away because you had to mill out too much of your bolt face, and it made the bolt face of the AR weak. And they're great for competition gun because it was 6.5. It was like the 6.5 Creedmoor, but it was in a 5.56 magazine. But it made the bolt weak, so it wasn't a combat gun. And if it's not a combat gun, I could care less. 6mm ARC. We talked about this a little bit ago. I know it's the latest hotness for accuracy at long distances. And if all you want to run is the same magazines, the same lowers, then why would you not run something that runs with the a regular 5.56 mag? Now, it is true that certain followers change the angle a little better for 6.8 and 300 blackout. That is true. All right. There may be a follower with a different angle for 6 ARC or 6.5. I don't know, because if I ever played with it, it would just be so I could answer you guys' questions. But understand, accuracy with 5.56 is going to carry me as far as I need to go. And then anything past that, I'm going to go to an AR-10. And if I need to go to a mile and beyond, I'm going to be using a bolt gun. And if you're buying a bolt gun in 6 ARC, you're a moron, because it's a bolt gun. You might as well go with 6 Creedmoor. A 6mm Creedmoor runs rings around 6 ARC. But honestly, I don't have opinion on which magazine. I would honestly recommend you go to the online forums. There are people with whole websites just about 6.5 Creedmoor and 6 ARC, and I'm sure they have an opinion that is so much more educated than me on that subject. I'm not afraid to say I don't know everything. Not at all. I don't. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap this up tonight. And again, I want to thank JX Tactical for sponsoring tonight's live stream. Totally badass, without a doubt. If you need a holster, especially the Fat Man, dude, you don't have to name it the Fat Man. You can say that this is the Big Boned Man holster. You don't have to tell people it's named the Fat Man. You don't have to. But the reality is, you got a little extra gristle, a little tactical fluff, a little Jello here and there. It doesn't matter. It's a good holster, guys. It's a good holster. It's a good holster. It's what I'm running with my 43X right now. I'm actually carrying my 43 right now. Well, not right now, but it's what I carried all day long. My 43X, I'm actually having the slide cut on it right now by one of our past sponsors. I'm going to run it for a little bit, and I'm going to see if it's the cat's meow like everybody says it is, because a lot of you have been asking about getting their slides cut for optics, and I want to be able to point you guys in the right direction. One of the cool parts about JX Tactical is every one of their holsters, besides being proudly made in America, They're comfortable and they are cut for optics. You can get them cut for lights. If you're not running a light on your EDC pistol, you are wrong. That's all we got for tonight. Next Tuesday's live stream, I don't know if I'm going to do one. I actually have a night shoot that night. Tuesday night is a night shoot, so we will probably do it Monday or Wednesday. But I'll let you know. All right, I'll let you know. So it won't be Tactical Tuesday next week. That's just how the classes worked out. I have a night shoot on Tuesday. I have a night shoot on Friday. Next week, we're going to be stretching those rifles out to 300 meters in the dark. We're going to get pistols out to 25, maybe a little bit further. If you're not shooting in the dark, you are wrong. When does the criminal element come out? After the sun goes down, rolling blackout in the city, power goes out, lights are out, they lose their minds. I think the last brownout or blackout in New York City, I think it took 20 minutes for the looting to start. 20 whole minutes for the looting to start. It was the middle of the afternoon. You need to have a light on your gun, guys. I want to thank Steve Holland for coming on tonight. I want to thank my moderators for keeping you all in check. I want to thank all my patrons for their continued support. And next week you're going to have story time with Carl. This week was our quick shooting tip. That's not on the open internet. And then the following week is their question and answer video. Always a good time here hanging out with you guys. And I'm going to go up and visit my blushing bride. And I will see you guys next time. You want to do next time? We could do next time, right? Why not, right? We could do next time. I'll see you guys next time. What do you think? Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Hey, if you are not currently subscribing to this channel, I just want to break 1,000. Help me get 1,000 subscribers. Y'all take care and shoot straight.
Big coming right there.